Hello? Hi, guys. Welcome to the stream. Hi, guys. It's me, Moo Berries. I'm so tired. Why is Chica T-posing? Why aren't you T-posing, Jebel? Anyways, hi, guys. Can I get a hi from everyone in the chat, please? That would be wonderful. That would be amazing. If everyone could say hi to me, that would be great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Landmarker. Hi, Apple. Hello, Willer. Hello, Jebel's Child. Hi, Adidas. Hi, Julie. I saw we got a first-time messenger, Fruit Loops, here. Hello, Fruit Loops. Hi, Mola. How you doing? Hopefully good. I don't know why there was a question mark. Yeah, I was wondering. You're like, hey, Moo? Like, hey, Moo? He's right behind me, isn't he? Anyways, guys. I made a beat for the song. Okay, let me explain why we're doing this song. This freaking stream. Okay, we're doing this stream because we're trying to write a FNAF song for the movie. Okay, that's the goal that we're trying to accomplish right now. So I need to learn up on the FNAF lore so that I know what to write the song about. But I already have like a beat, and I don't know if I should show it now or if I should show it later. Hi NPC, hello. FNAF movie will be real in 2020. Well, no, the FNAF movie's coming out in, what's it called? October 23rd, I want to say. Is it 23rd or is it 32nd or something? I don't know. It's something like that. But it is real. And it is happening. And that's exciting. So I don't know if we want to go straight into, is it 27th? Thank you. Are you watching MatPat's full complete FNAF timeline? I want to see if we can find, I want to watch a lot of MatPat ones. I want to watch some, hold on. I want to watch some MatPat ones. I want to watch some like big summary ones. I want to see if there's any just on Phone Guy, because I want to focus on Phone Guy for the song. You know what I mean? You're a sick person. Oh no! Get better. What happened? What you got? What sickness you got? A cold, a fever, bunch of stuff. Wait, what am I? Okay, FNAF lore. Do we want to hear the beat first? Or do we want to just do FNAF lore? What's the vibe? What's the vibe? Hi, Diamond. Hello. Do we want to hear the beat first, or do we want to go into the lore right away? Here, I should do a poll. Hold on. /poll. Okay, I think it's kind of fire, to be fair. For someone who's never produced music before, I think it's kind of fire. Okay, hold on. What do first? Lore or listen to the beat? Okay, I'm polling. Everyone vote in the poll, guys. I'm cleaning my room currently, so if I don't sing here, I'm cleaning. I'm thinking of having a friend over. Ooh, have fun with your friend. Fancy. Everyone vote in the poll. Okay, everyone wants to listen to the beat. Okay, we're opening up the beat. FL Studio. Whew. I learned professional software for this, guys. Professional software. I put my heart and soul. Do you know how long this took me to make? Okay. Now keep in mind, this is my first time making a beat. Okay? We're just keeping that in mind, and we're not gonna be mean. But you're gonna say if it sounds FNAF, okay? The people that have showed so far say it sounds FNAF, and that's the goal. That's all we want. We just want it to sound FNAF. We want people to listen to it and think this is FNAF. I do not have any lyrics or anything yet. This is just the beat. Okay, hold on. Let me open it up, and I'll put it up on the screen. FNAF song. There we go. Okay. I'll be drawing Bob. Who the hell is Bob? What? Who is Bob? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to window capture this, aren't I? Okay. Can everyone see the FL Studio tab? Yes? So I'm laying in bed right now, so if I stop talking for a bit, I'm probably asleep. All good. I fall asleep to streams all the time. Okay, let me just test how loud this is. Is that a good audio? It's so good. Okay. I'll show you guys what we're planning for this. This took me a bit to make. Tell me if this sounds FNAF, okay? I won't play like the whole thing, but like I'll play a bit. Okay, ready? Here we go. So this part will be like, hello, and it'll be some like Phone Guy lines, right? And then it goes into the verse. And this is pre-chorus. And then this is chorus. It's kind of a vibe, right? It's kind of a vibe. Maybe a little bit more music box. Yeah, I do want to add more music box. I just want to follow the melody, and then it goes back to verse. I just want to follow the melody of the like verse and pre-chorus, but I haven't come up with like a proper melody, right? It's like back to Doki Doki Literature Club thingy. Is that a good thing? Hi, Panda. Thanks for the lurk. And then at the end here, this is like the end bit. Okay, and then it would be, this is what we were thinking. It was supposed to be like, I always come back. And it's like an echo there, right? And then as it's about to end, it goes here. And then it just ends. I feel like it's good. It kind of goes hard. It kind of goes hard a little bit. I don't know. I think it's good. Anyways, we're watching lore today. So if you guys see anything that you think should be included in the song, in the lore, I'm hoping to make it like half the song Phone Guy. Hi, Lev. Half the song Phone Guy. Oh, thank you for the 19 months, Adidas.
Merry Christmas, Moo in chat.
Wait, it's not Christmas. It's not even Halloween. Okay, sure. Yep, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Chrysler. How long are you gonna make it? Well, I'm thinking of adding another verse into here because this is the intro. Then this is verse and pre-chorus. I want it to be like Phone Guy singing and then like chorus, right? I'm talking like about himself. Then I want to be an animatronic singing and then chorus like talking about also about Phone Guy, and then they do a duet in the end. That's the vibe that I wanted to go for. I feel like it goes pretty dang good, to be honest. Pretty dang good. Happy late birthday, NPC. Glad to hear that. Wait, why am I glad to hear that your birthday's passed? No, I'm not. I'm glad that you had a birthday. Does that make sense? I hope that your birthday was good. That's what I mean to say. I don't know. Okay, let's watch FNAF lore explained in 10 minutes because I feel like that's a solid starter for the FNAF moment here. Oh god, is this the right thing? Yes, this is. Okay, hold on. We're moving this, and then we do this, and then we do this. Okay, good. Hi, Secret. Hello. Why are we redeeming these? Huh? Thank you for the lurk, Lav. Why are we redeeming these? Why is this a vibe? Okay, let's watch some lore so that I can get a gist. We're gonna write things down that we think are good for the song. Okay, here we go.
FNAF lore in 10 minutes. Ready, go. A guy named William moves from England to a small town called Hurricane with his wife and 3 kids.
Mr. Afton,
it's in
yes.
this small town that he meets a fella named Henry, who has his own kids, and Henry and William become good friends.
Whoa, what is this animation?
Open up a family diner that sold cake, and with the main attraction being these 2 animatronic suits that can either be an animatronic or can spring lock into suits that humans can wear. Okay,
and this is Golden Bonnie and Golden Freddy, correct? Not the Gmod. Okay, hold on. Correct, and this becomes Springtrap, correct?
Keep that in mind. It'll be.
I think I know the gist of FNAF lore.
And William wears the Bonnie suit. Fellas,
I didn't know.
Is booming for Fazbear.
Oh yeah, no, William. Okay, that makes sense.
Family diner. So much so that they open up
Spring Bonnie,
okay. Fazbear's Pizza, where he creates 4 new animatronics: Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, and Foxy. But what we don't know about William Afton is that he's a crazed lunatic, an absolute psychopath.
He really is.
For this reason that it's assumed that Henry created an animatronic called the Puppet to protect his daughter Charlie from danger. One day,
which, you know what, didn't really work, girl.
Henry's daughter Charlie gets locked outside of the pizzeria. However, the puppet can't save Charlie as it's...
Okay, so then all the kids just walk away when they see her outside? What is this? What? Are you watching MatPat? Yes, I am. This is just a 10-minute explained, and then we're gonna go into MatPat. What's going on? What's going on? Why are they being so mean? Why don't they let her in?
The pizzeria. However, the puppet can't save Charlie as it's stuck in a box. And as
Oh my
William pulls into the
gosh.
driveway, he ends up murdering Charlie and dragging
Which
her into his
literally,
home. Once the
why?
puppet finally gets out of the box, it goes outside to protect Charlie, only to find her dead. What happens next is that Charlie's spirit inhabits the puppet, so it's now possessed by Charlie's spirit, and Henry lost his only child. Now, while all of this is going on,
I know
let's focus
that.
on William Afton's family. He has 2 sons and a daughter, but right now, let's focus on the boys. The small one is Evan, and the older is Mike.
Oh, his name's
Evan
Evan?
is scared
I
of
was
the
just calling him
animatronics,
Crying
and
Child.
Mike sees this as a wonderful opportunity to prank Evan. On
went
Evan's
so
birthday
well.
party, Mike, the older brother, decides to put Evan near the mouth of an animatronic version of Freddy to give him a big kiss. What happened instead is that the spring locks on the suit fail due to the moisture of the tears, which ends up causing the animatronic to bite down on William's kid like
he did a great job there,
killing him, thus marking the bite of 83. The death of his
the
youngest
bite of
son
83
was enough to spiral William Afton's
the bite of
mind into
87.
even more chaos.
Stop! Wait, Diamond. Why do we say the same thing? Why do we say the same thing? That's so gross. Oh my god.
Psychotic behavior.
Then the bite of
He
87.
ends up luring 5 children into the safe room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
And yeah, he's just killing more people. Is there a phone guy lore?
But
is that a
where
thing?
Where would he hide the body, you may ask? Well, when Afton was designing the 4 new suits, he made a compartment specifically designed to fit children inside of the animatronics.
That is so messed up.
Because of this, no one was able to find any evidence. The puppet, witnessing all of
Five
this,
Nights
decides
at
to assist the children.
Freddy's.
But there's 5 children and 4 suits. Where would the extra child go? Well, the extra child was stuffed into the Golden Fredbear costume. So now we have 6 kids that have their souls stuck in animatronics. Shortly after, Afton ends up getting fired from his own company, and the restaurant is closed down.
Well, yeah. Hi, Aces.
However,
Hello.
William Afton didn't stop there. After the closure of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, he decides to make a new company called Afton Robotics and creates a new location specifically designed to murder children. But why, you may ask? Well, when Afton was murdering the 5 children, he discovered a way to become immortal, introducing remnants. When the kids die, they release this material.
Wait, the FNAF lore is about him trying to become immortal? But he didn't know that before he killed the children. So he just killed the children for fun? Also, why did he stuff all the other children's into the suits, but then just left Henry's daughter out on the sidewalk for the puppet to find her? Like, hello? What's the point? What is this?
Which bonds your soul onto something. This is basically how the missing children and Charlie were able to possess the spirits of animatronics.
Okay.
He uses this information specifically to create Circus Baby, who was able to lure children in with games
Circus
and then crush them
Baby.
inside
She's
their
one of my
stomach.
favorites.
So now we know that William's youngest child is dead, and his eldest is doing something not really important right now, but maybe later. Anyway, Elizabeth, Afton's daughter, is here at this private party to unveil the new location in the franchise, until Elizabeth gets a little too close to Baby, and yeah, she gets folded like a lawn chair. Anyway, because of this incident, the Circus Baby Pizza World was
for Afton's
shut down
daughter,
due to
I
a gas
agree.
leak. But
Circus
assured,
Baby is one of my favorite because her story is so tragic.
Well, you remember this guy, right? Afton's only son? William,
Michael
being the
Afton.
wonderful father he is, he sent his son to locate and free the soul of Elizabeth, who is trapped inside of Circus Baby. So now let's shift to the new star of the show.
No, I didn't
Michael
see
Afton,
Secret. I
who
can check
survived
after
the
stream
first 4
though.
nights pretty well until around the 4th night, where technicians are instructed to scoop out the shells of the animatronics and take the salvageable endoskeletons. This scooping machine also has some remnants. I wonder why. Soon enough, all of the animatronics get scooped, but they all combine their parts of their endoskeleton into some weird megazord known as...
What? They're all entered? What? Wait, no one told me that they're all entered? They're all entered? No, I didn't know that. How would I know that? Guys, this is why we need to watch this. No, I didn't know. Lil Gingy, also welcome to the chat. No, what the hell? I thought he was just some dude that was lurking in the back that he thought he was too ugly to come out. What? That's so weird. Oh my god, that makes sense why he has all the... And then the mask was on the wall, so they just picked up... Oh my lord! I thought it was just some guy, man!
Ennard.
His name is literally Ennard. That sounds like freaking Norman. Like, it's the most chill, not noticeable dude with the freaking button-up light blue like freaking shirt and like the khakis. You know what I'm talking about? The socks and the sandals. That's Ennard, bro. Ennard equals innard. Ow! What?
On the final
No.
night, our man
Wait,
Michael
that's actually
ends
the
up
twist of the
finding
century for
himself
me,
from his
guys.
godforsaken scooping machine.
Yeah, and that, oh my god, and so they're
On the final night, our
they're
man
on the
Michael
floor because it was already scooped to become this guy.
ends
Oh
up
my
finding himself from his
god.
godforsaken scooping machine, and it turns out Baby's true intentions were to scoop the living hell out of Michael's organs and make some room for
And
Emmett
she,
to show up,
so she
like
was
some
tricking
dumb
him,
trap. Needless to
only
say, our boy
protecting him
Michael
so
gets
that she
scooped
could
like he's one of
scoop
those
him.
strawberry sherbet ice creams, and all that remnant keeps his soul alive, whilst Ennard makes his way inside of the corpse to escape the complex.
So
Wait
he's
for
still
Friday.
alive,
Eventually,
and
we
then,
realize that
yeah.
Michael's body slowly ends up deteriorating due to him being basically a walking corpse. A few days later, Ennard ends up escaping into a sewer system, and just when you think our boy is dead, he gets reanimated back to life. Now that Michael has freed Elizabeth, his new goal is to find
Does
William.
this mean that when we get FNAF sequels, Michael Afton's gonna just turn into a rotting corpse instead of being the guy from the Hunger Games? Because I don't really need zombie Afton. Hi, P.O. Welcome in.
Afton. Fast forward a bit, Michael isn't able to find his father, but while all of this is happening, William decides to go to the original abandoned location.
Okay,
to
but why would
dismantle
you
all
do
of the
this?
old animatronics.
Okay, so
William
this is
ends up
FNAF
snapping
1
those tools
now.
like Lego bricks, but unbeknownst to William,
No, I
he
didn't
just
see it
awoke.
yet, Secret. I'll check after stream, okay? I gotta focus on the stream right now. Sheesh! There's a sheesh Apex.
In the spirits
You're
in
welcome
the
for
physical
that.
form. The spirits
I'm so
all
glad I'm wearing
gather up
headphones so
and
they can't hear the
confront
randomness
William.
of that
However, in
context.
this safe room lies the very
This
suit that
is the
William Afton used
context.
to kill these children. In an
Okay,
attempt
yeah,
to,
they're all like,
I don't know,
booga
scare
booga.
them,
He
puts on
crawls
the
into
suit
the
and laughs
thing.
mockingly. It was all fine and dandy until those spring locks on the suit got a little too loose, and
Wait,
yeah, William ended up getting.
Have you guys heard the... What the... Oh, that was a freaking thing. My lord. Okay. Guys, have you heard the, Hold on. Let me open another YouTube tab. Okay, hold on. Have you guys heard... Why did it change? Excuse me. There we go. What's it called? William Afton Springlock suit screaming. I just want... Okay, this is a little disturbing, so just like a warning, but this sounds horrible! When I heard this, I literally sat gobsmacked at my screen for like 3 minutes. Just a heads up, guys. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Oh god, okay, here we go. Yeah. Maybe. Bro, it literally looks like he just had Taco Bell and sharded on the wall. Hi, Demi. I'm so sorry you had to join to that. I'm so sorry you had to join to that. Anyways, we're moving on! We're moving on!
Crushed and mutilated, causing
It's
a very
fine.
ironic death. His corpse just laid there for a while
It's
until some
whatever,
fools
man.
decided to reopen the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise as a horror attraction. They found the suit and thought, hey, this bloody animatronic suit seems to be perfect to put inside of a horror
And they
attraction.
didn't think, oh, look, there's blood there. Maybe we should check if it's human blood, since so much horrible shit has happened here. Do not moo ellipses me. Periods be like, guys, P-O ellipses, okay? P-O ellipses. Do not moo ellipses me after P-O says that. Unacceptable, actually. Unacceptable.
When they do this,
Blood did
William
not
decides to
like and
become
subscribe
alive
for
again
10 years
and
of good
stalks
life.
this
Oh
area
my
for a
God.
week. I say a week because after 1 week passed, the building was set on fire. The reason being
Did you guys see this picture? Didn't I do it for you? Didn't I do it for you, Kermit?
unknown, but all that you need to
Nice.
know is that Springtrap, or William, is still
Bro
alive
looks
despite the fire.
rotted.
It's possible
People
it could have been Michael, 'cause that Spring-
People simp over this thing. Do you understand that? Look at the grippers! He has freaking webbed feet! What are people on? No, me, P.O. No, not you. They call him Peepaw Willie. And they go, I would. That's what they say to this. Bro, no! His shoulders aren't even attached to his body! It's a rotting corpse! If you do anything, if you even poke a finger, you know what's gonna come out? Hot, sticky corpse sludge.
Springtrap, or William, is still
Disgusting,
alive
bro.
despite the fire. It's
Not
possible it could have been
today.
Michael to set the fire.
Pre-Springtrap William, he murdered children! Moving on.
Try and kill William Afton, but we don't know. However, he didn't escape without significant damage, as now he has to repair himself a little bit.
And here he comes.
Do you
I
remember
always
Emmett who
come
escaped
back.
through the sewer? Well,
I should
Baby
get
was
a clip
ejected
of him going, I always come. And then I should just stop the clip. I feel like
from
that'd be a
this
good one.
and ends up having to piece herself together into Scrap Baby, while the rest of Ennard dons a Freddy mask.
Girl, where'd she get this hair? Where does she have the bits for this out of this? I don't understand. Also, what happened to the rest of them? What happened to Ballora and them? Did she just go, guys, come on, it'll be a good idea. Let's all get together. And the second she had enough parts for herself, she was like, see you guys. Like, what, is Ennard still here? What's going on with that? She has roller skates? Does she always have roller skates?
We've discussed a lot of characters this video, but there's one that I haven't talked about in too much detail.
Who is this? Who is this? Oh my god.
That would be Henry, William Afton's friend, whose daughter became the puppet.
Oh wait, I just realized that I clipped the screen wrong. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Guys, you gotta tell me these things. You gotta. Oh crap! Am I clip? What is? Oh! Oh! Oh, I was using the wrong one. Okay. Okay, I fixed it, guys. We're fine.
In all of this grief, Henry
Where's
steps
Phone
in to
Guy?
finally
I'm gonna
devise
see if there's a
plan to
Just
end it
Phone
all.
Guy Lord
He opens up a new
thing.
pizzeria under the Freddy's franchise to gain the attention of the roaming animatronics, including Michael
Bro,
Afton. who still-
what in the serpent crap is that? I swear I just saw a VTuber like that. Freaking serpent snake. What is
wants
that?
to find William Afton. Mike ends up getting the security job, and remember, he still looks like his father here. Henry creates an animatronic to capture his daughter.
Oh
The
yeah, I
animatronic-
learned this recently. He captured the puppet inside Lefty. I didn't know that Lefty was the puppet for so long. Babies laugh for when you're under the table in sister location. You should add that to song. You're so right. I'm writing that down. See, guys, this is the stuff we need. This is the stuff we need. FNAF song. Circus baby laugh. I need things to put in the song. I'm not putting the har. I already have the music box.
Is called Lefty, and little by little, Mike collects every single one of the animatronics into one facility.
Is this what the pizzeria simulator is?
All according to
Simulator.
Henry's
I can
plan.
talk.
And on the final night, we finally get to hear Henry. He has this awesome speech that my words couldn't do justice, so by all means, check it out on your own. However, Henry's plan was to gather all
that's
the
the, like,
animatronics to one place.
My
in order
dearest
to burn
daughter,
them,
blah,
freeing their
blah.
souls.
You know what I
He
mean?
tells
It's that
Mike,
one,
the
right?
volunteer, that there was a way for him to get out, but he feels that Mike might want to die here. Henry commits arson to the building, killing all of the animatronics ever, including Mike himself, and of course, William Afton. Where his soul
Bro looks so ugly here. Freaking spindly teeth. And people still simp for him. Why? Listen, hear me out, guys. I'm all for the villain. I would rather have someone burn down a whole city for me than sacrifice me for the whole city. Is that selfish? I don't care. P.O. Control yourself, okay? But this guy? Nuh-uh. Even Harley Quinn draws the line at men who kill children. Thank you. Thank you. When Mike got scooped, shouldn't his soul go into the scoop machine? You know what? I kind of agree with that. Or maybe it's because there's no remnant in there. You know what I mean? I don't know what this remnant stuff is. Whatever. People like his accent. Oh yeah, are they British? Wait, aren't they British? And he goes, I always come back. No. Blood goes, I always come back, I do. That did not sound British. Wait, hold on. Hello, I always come back, I do. I can't. That's how he sounds. That's what people are simping for. He bad? I think you mean a bad character, and you're making a bad judgment. Thank you very much.
presumably forever tortured.
Bro is literally curling his fingers. Got the freaking buck teeth. How is the suit more intact than it was in the freaking Springtrap suit? What are you saying, P.O.? He doesn't have a head. It's a suit.
The animatronics.
Oh my god.
We finally get a peaceful ending. All loose ends finally tied together. How peaceful.
Bro, no we don't.
Until the next game comes out.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
company takes control of the FNAF games instead of Scott Cawthon, so there might be a lot of plot holes. But it's up to you on which story you want to continue or end with. Anyways, it said that before William died, he uploaded himself virtually onto binary code.
Oh, this
And
is
when they
Glitch
developed a
Trap,
virtual
isn't
FNAF
it?
experience, William's conscious enters through code and now is in the virtual game. He's
Oh,
able to use his
boy.
power to slowly take over people's bodies. William ends up finding a host named Vanessa to take control of, using her to create an alter ego called Vanny, which William can take control of. Shortly after, a new FNAF mall is created. God, these guys really need to stop making FNAF branded things. And to go figure, in this mall, 9 children are missing.
Yeah! Yeah! Those are my guys! Those are my guys! Those are my people! Let's go!
Freddy, Roxy, and this alligator who apparently jumped the living hell out of Bonnie and killed him. All you need to know is that these animatronics are in some way controlled by William Afton. Anyway, Glamrock Freddy ends up malfunctioning on stage because he is exempt from being controlled by William and he wakes up near closing time only to spot Gregory, some homeless kid who presumably thinks that living in a mall with robot animals is a good idea. Now, some people assume that Gregory is an animatronic because how his vision glitches when he sees Vanny. Freddy and Gregory work together and basically end up stealing parts of animatronics to make Freddy stronger. To do this, they throw Chica into a trash compactor, snapping the alligator Monty into bite-sized pieces, and then promptly commit vehicular manslaughter on a fox.
Which is so great. Love that.
Underneath the complex to find a replica restaurant where they find the Blob, a creature that has the soul of what seems like many animatronics, and William.
Yeah, I remember seeing that
thing. I thought you were dead. Anyway, William wants to resume.
Bro, with the twitching! Bro has his hand around like Gooby! Do you guys know who Gooby is? Do I still like carrot cake? I like carrot cake. I'm pulling up Gooby this instant. I'm so upset at this. Gooby trailer. Oh my god, I swear, you guys. Look at this. Look at this and tell me this isn't literally what he just did. Hold on. I'll tell you when the bit comes. This is a horrible movie called Gooby. If the mimic talks at the mimic talking at the end. Ooh, wait, you're so right. The mimic would be no, but this is supposed to be like past lore. Okay, here we go.
Active imagination.
It's Gooby.
Something remarkable is about to happen. He's about to meet the most
Look at this!
of all.
Wait.
Gooby? You guessed it.
Gooby! Anyways, my point was it looks just like
the most ferocious monster of all.
Oh crap, I keep going past it. Hold on. Here it comes.
To happen.
It's not Freddy Fazbear!
The most ferocious monster.
What the hell? Okay, go. See this? Is that not the same thing? Is that not the same thing? Freaking Gooby! Wait, where's the scene where he... Oh, here it is. Wait, hold on. Gooby! Okay, anyways, moving on.
Favorite hobby, killing children. So that's the reason why he wants to control all of the animatronics, is just to murder children. But after an epic final fight, Gregory and Glamrock Freddy end up burning the entire complex whole.
Oh my god, he's so decrepit, bro!
And right as William Afton is about to catch Gregory and Glamrock Freddy, William Afton is captured by the Blob to, I don't know, some other place now. As you know it, the complex ends up getting shut down, and that's the ending. We get a beautiful ending, similar to the one.
Oh, they didn't include the DLC, I guess. Okay, whatever. Phone guy lore. Who is Phone Guy? FNAF Theory, Dark History of Phone Guy. Who was he? Guys, which one do you suggest? Is there a map, Pat, on just on Phone Guy? Phone Guy's... Oh, wait, it's set up with map Pat FNAF Animatic. Is there maybe this one? I don't know. Springtrap is not Gooby confirmed. Okay, that was a joke. Oh, wait, the game theorist, FNAF The Ultimate Timeline.
Today we end the torment. 19...
Okay, let's watch this one, actually.
11 games, 8 whole years, all leading to this
I'm
moment.
So excited for the movie. I don't think you guys understand.
The timeline is finally complete. The pieces are in place for us. Now all we have to do is put this story of tragedy, jealousy, and love
I actually
back
hate
together.
Glitch Trap. What game is he even in? Help Wanted?
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that feels like a kid revealing the class project.
Hello, Matt Pat. Welcome to my stream.
Working on all year. Except here, it's the class ass project that I've been working on for the past decade of my life. This one is big, my
Poor
friends,
Matt
and I gotta
Pat, bro.
admit, kind of nervous. I haven't attempted a timeline video on this franchise since 2018. Back in the days when Mike was the crying child, Afton coming back was actually a surprise, and Fazgoo wasn't a phrase I'd ever thought I'd have to utter. But since the last time I did something like this, we've had 3 more massive games, the death and revival of the FNAF movie, and more
I don't
robot
think they
kids than you
included
can
the
shake a
DLC in this
staff
one
bot
either,
at.
right?
It is exhausting trying to keep track of this
Wait,
whole
when did this come
franchise,
out?
which honestly is why I'm here today.
7 months ago. Was the
Lord, at
DLC
this
was the DLC out 7 months ago? I don't think it was.
point is
I don't think it was.
complicated.
No,
is
it
full
definitely
of
wasn't.
Speculation and theory. So to hopefully make it a little easier,
Yeah, okay,
for
this doesn't
everyone
include
and
the
to give us
DLC
all a
then.
baseline to talk about this franchise moving forward into the future, it's time to reveal my current working FNAF timeline. But just before I do, I just want to explain a couple of things. First, this timeline is massive. Seriously, it is huge. This thing towers over any video project we have ever done on the channel. But when you
This
look
FNAF
at the
is
totality of
crazy.
this franchise, the story of FNAF really boils down to the story of one
Okay,
man.
what's up with Balloon Boy? Who the hell is Balloon Boy? Did we ever have an answer to who the hell Balloon Boy is? What's his deal? Who got stuffed into a balloon boy? Huh? Give me get well, kid, get well. Came back from CG5 concert. That's so cool. But gosh, before I think I'm gonna go one shot my baby is sleeping. Oh my gosh. Terrible migraine. Oh my gosh. Make sure you take proper pain medication and drink lots of water and sleep. Go sleep.
Man,
Balloon Boy
William
is just Balloon Boy. What does that even mean? He's just a regular robot? Why are the robot? I thought they attacked you because they had a soul or whatever. Is that not?
Afton,
Whatever.
his successes, his failures, his
I give
rise to
up.
becoming co-owner of one of the most successful restaurant franchises in the world, and his eventual fall to the monsters he helped to create, only to then be reborn in a new digital form later. That's why I've decided
Blue
to
Boy's
split
just
this
annoying,
timeline
I
into
agree.
3 main chunks. The foundation of Freddy's, how the business started and how it came into being, the Afton era, William's decades-long murder
Afton
spree,
era.
and post-Purple Guy. Basically modern FNAF. Everything that
Oh, I
happens
hate-
after the pizza.
I literally hate this design. It's so ugly. It's so ugly. This is also ugly. So ugly. Freaking Ricket. I could fit a whole thumb in between those teeth gaps, bro. Every single tooth. Got the frayed whiskers. Who did his eyebrows? What? 3 eyelashes? Are you SpongeBob? Like, I can't.
Pizzeria Simulator fire. And because there are lots
It's
of
probably what you look like.
revelations-
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I hate you guys. I left the room, and my mom asked me what was wrong. Okay? That's what happened. Okay? Continuing.
in this thing that seemingly come out of nowhere, as well as just points I want to talk about further.
Hi,
I decided
Frost.
to dedicate 1 episode to each chunk. I originally wanted it to be one seamless, continuous video.
Oh my God,
but
do we
just
have to watch
felt
3
incomplete without
episodes?
some sort of explanation at the end of each one.
Oh, there's 3 episodes of this. Okay, we're gonna be in for a hot
Once
sec,
it's
guys.
done, I promise I'm gonna merge all the narrative bits into one massive video. So
No,
you can
it's
just
okay,
skip my
kid.
explanations. But for now, this
Map
just
Pat,
felt
yeah,
like the
what- we're
best,
getting
most
caught up on the
satisfying,
FNAF
most
lore.
complete way to do this. That being said, this is still about the story, the broad strokes of the franchise. So in order to make sure that you guys know that I'm not just pulling answers out of thin air, not only am I discussing some of the more controversial bits at the end of each chunk, we're also putting in a handy little graphic in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, which will show thumbnails, video titles, books, and any other citations that we need throughout the video.
He's
So if you wish
citing
to
his
understand that specific
sources!
statement in more detail,
Okay,
you know
okay,
exactly where
Degree.
we've taken it from. That way
I've
you can
had
look
lost
into
my
those
brain.
details
I
for
feel it
yourself.
turning
so
to
sit
mush.
back, grab some
I
popcorn, throw
haven't
your
watched a
pitchforks
lot
and
of Map Hat. I've watched like random videos here and there, but I heard that if I want to know FNAF lore, this is where I need to go. It's the most interesting. And I like the little pop-ups and stuff. This is how I like do my PowerPoints for school and stuff, you know?
You're the type to get upset when I say something controversial, and make sure that you
I'm gonna
subscribe.
think about how his
since this is gonna
editors
be a
edit
video
the
that you're gonna wanna
videos.
come back
Yeah,
to a few
I'm
times
assuming
in
that
order to fully
he edited the
dissect.
videos when
Without
he first
any more
started, which
waiting,
was,
I
like,
present to you the
pretty
story of
similar.
a loving, obsessive father who slowly descended into madness, and along the way discovered the secret to eternal
I
life.
hate that one, bro. I hate some of the designs.
Our story begins not in the 1980s, or even in the 1970s, but all the way back in the 1930s. It was the throes of the Great Depression, and people were in desperate need of cheap entertainment, especially in Utah, one of the states hit hardest, fourth highest unemployment in the nation.
Did all of this happen in Utah? I would have thought this all happened in Ohio, to be real with you.
And full of transients.
You know.
People looking for work in Salt Lake, finding none, and ultimately
The theory
moving
editing
on
is
to
actually
find
so
their
good at what they
fortunes
do.
out in
No, for
California.
real.
People were tired and they were hungry.
Just
But as
one
they
of these
traveled, there was
frames would
one
take me
thing
like an
that could
hour,
lift
I
their
swear.
spirits. A simple roadside attraction called Fredbear's Singin' Show. The ads were plastered all over town.
Do you know what
featuring
this
animated
reminds me of? You guys know the Country Bear Jamboree at Disney? I can't even talk about it. It was so wild, bro. The songs in there, me and my family accidentally wandered in. And the songs in there, my dad hates country music. And it was starting to rain. So he was getting upset and he was like, let's just go into this one. Like, I'll pick a ride. We'll go into this one because it's inside and it's raining. And we were like, okay. And we sit down. All of a sudden, country music starts playing. His face drops. The songs? Wild. It was like, my wife's like a bowl of chocolate pudding and stuff like that. And then there's one about there's blood on the floor, there's blood on the wall, and grandma is dead. It's like what are the I can't.
Bear
It's
drawn
too
into popular
weird. That's what this
pie-eyed
is, though.
cartoon style for characters
I hate that
at the
traction
time.
so
He
much.
resembled
Me
cartoons
too!
like Mickey Mouse, Felix the Cat, Betty Boop. It immediately said that this, Fredbear's, was a place where you could bring the family. And the price, honestly, couldn't be beat. For 50 cents, you could get food and entertainment as you watched the local trained real-life dancing bear perform on stage.
What?
Normally, you only got to see dancing bears at large traveling circuses like Barnum and Bailey, where the tickets would go for about
There was a real
$1.
bear?
That's $1 without food. But this was a smaller show, like the type from the Von Brothers or the Robbins Brothers, where tickets would sell for just a mere 50 cents. Watching that bear do tricks on stage brought a
He's
glimmer of
bouncing
joy
off
at a time
my
when so
my
much was
lawyers
wrong
advised me
with
not
the
to finish.
world.
Like,
The simple show
yeah,
would go on for
yeah,
years,
your
bringing
lawyer
happiness
has
to
advised
hundreds
you.
of travelers passing through looking for a quick meal, but it left a permanent impression on one little boy, capturing his imagination in a way that nothing
Oh
else
God,
had.
tell me it's
One
not
little
William.
boy
Oh
named Billy.
God.
That was his
Wait,
nickname,
Billy?
but his parents liked to call
Oh,
him
okay.
William Afton. The bear could
Oh,
dance,
Lord.
could sing. For decades, William dreamed of
The bear
recreating
could
that moment of
sing.
bringing a musical bear to life, but how? William was smart, without a doubt, and he had a keen mind for business, but he wasn't the most creative. How do you make a singing, dancing bear come to life? The best he could do was using rudimentary costumes. William was inspired by the work of Walt Disney, who throughout the 50s and
Okay,
60s
well that's
was
literally what I'm
pioneering
talking about. Country Bear Jamboree. I cracked it, guys. FNAF is based off of the Country Bear Jamboree. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I have solved FNAF lore. Thank you.
use of mascot suits throughout his theme park. The big innovation,
bouncing
suits with
up,
5 fingers. This allowed the performers wearing the suits to use their natural arms and hands to interact with the guests, as opposed to the older models where the arms would just hang limply by their sides. Finally, with a simple mascot suit, he would be able to realize his childhood dream. He would be able to bring Fredbear to life. To appeal to the kids, and for copyright reasons, he changed Fredbear
Real
from a
Musol
realistic
FNAF.
brown
I'm actually
animal to a
the new
cartoonish
map
yellow
hat,
bear
so.
with a purple hat and bow tie. But feeling like one character wasn't enough, he added another friend, a yellow rabbit with a purple vest and matching tie.
They're a
named
little
Bonnie the
creepy,
Bunny.
man.
While Fredbear was certainly his first love, Bonnie was extra special because that was his. It was an original character that he had created from scratch. And I do mean scratch.
He had an
William's hand-sewn
OC.
costumes were rough with seams and stitches
Oh,
visibly
Lord.
showing, but it was the best that he could do. And you know what? It was just enough. Bonnie and Fredbear would perform on stage to small but enthusiastic crowds. Finally, he was able to deliver fantasy and fun to all the kids, delighting and
Fredbear's
inspiring
just
them in the
standing there
exact way that
doing
he had been
nothing.
delighted and inspired
William
so
made a
many years
self-intro
ago.
OC. He
And
really
things
did.
could have ended there.
Wonder how good
could
that
have
pizza
been the
actually
end
is.
to
I'm
the
imagining
story.
it to be like
could have
Chuck E.
been
Cheese level,
perfect
so
had it not been
not
for
good.
one thing. Other people saw the success of his idea and they wanted in. Enter Chica's Party World, a rival restaurant
What?
starring performing animal characters. His idea, except they did it better. William
What?
may have been the first, but
There was a
obviously he
rival?
wasn't the best. It hurt the prideful William Afton to admit it, but this restaurant was able to do the thing that he always wanted to do: make the animals act.
Okay. What? Now, why are we saying William Afton persona in the chat? Listen, we don't gotta get into all this, okay? That's too deep in the lore, Landmarker. Too deep, okay? I don't need to know what this guy was doing, okay? So the fact that Scott is part of the lore because in FNAF world, he dies at the true end, revealing Circus Baby, but I've never seen a real deep dive into why he was making Circus Baby. I think he was just making it to kill children. He just really wanted to kill children. That was just his goal. So Circus Baby was programmed so that when she was alone with one kid, she would kill them. I don't know what his obsession with this was. He was once a child. I didn't see any backstory about him being bullied. He just saw a bear, went, wow, bears are pretty cool. And then went, maybe I could kill some children with this. That's just what he does. William Afton would have loved FurryCon. He would have just killed people! He kills people, guys! This is not something good, okay?
Actually come to life.
My
All of the
lord.
performers in this restaurant were robots. Simple metal skeletons that were powered
Was
by
Chica
battery
not a
packs,
part of the
but all them
franchise?
able to freely turn and talk
Did they
and
steal
dance
Chica?
on their own.
Oh my
No
god, an ad.
human
There's
would-
an ad, guys. Guys, there's an ad. Okay. We're FNAFing. We're FNAFing. Wait, hold on. Let's big band version FNAF. FNAF. While the ad's running. Here we go. Here we go. Hi, Strawberry. How are you doing? We're waiting every night to finally roam and invite newcomers to play with us. For many years, I've been all alone. Are we back from the ad? Are we back? I want to go to Dave & Buster's. I'm watching Blueberries, the #1 stream on this platform. This is so real. This is so real. Okay, ad's over. We're good? To decay. Please let us get in. Don't lock us away. We're not like what you're thinking. We're poor little souls that have lost all control. Anyways, here we
It
go.
was like magic that came from the mind of a brilliant creator named Henry Emily. This
Henry was
in some
a
small way,
rival?
has been able to harness the power of life itself. Afton admired him. He was jealous, to be sure, but he also looked upon this man with
Okay,
awe.
wait. Now if we hold on a second, why does Henry look so baby girl here? Like if you hear me out for like 1 second, if you hear me out though, and you think about it. Henry didn't kill nobody. He didn't kill anyone! He didn't kill anyone! He's a normal person that just loved his daughter! He's a dilf. I'm moving on.
Off to
I'm
one
moving
side of
on.
Chica's party world was a small
Bro,
cabaret
what in the
stage
hell?
featuring an elephant magician. On the other, a hippo known to ramble on and on. That one was more of a joke for the parents, but it was the main
No, we're
stage
not.
that was for
We don't need to back up. What are you guys talking about? Did you guys hear something? I didn't. I'm looking around. I don't think I heard anything. I think we're good to go, guys. Yeah, thanks.
for the kids. A rocking band of characters featuring a yellow chicken thing with a southern
stole
drawl named
Chica?
Chica, backed by a band of other country-themed characters, including a pig with a banjo, an upbeat frog from the local swimming hole, and a brown bear with a heavy southern accent.
Oh,
Wait,
Lord.
a bear? But
Country Bear
bears were
Jamboree.
his animals. Why not a cow or a horse? Something to fit the country theme a bit better. Why'd it have to be a bear? And adding insult
Wait,
to
Moo
injury
William was green when you paused the video? Wait, where? This?
in some small way had
Okay, like he's so. Okay,
been able
whatever.
to harness the power of life itself. After
Oh, like right here he was green. Is it because he was fading in? It's probably because he was fading
admired
in.
him. He was jealous, to be
He was
sure.
definitely fading in.
Sure,
Oh,
he also-
here. Oh, I don't know. He was
Looked
green,
upon
man.
this man with awe. Off to one side of
Just
Chica's
don't-
party
thanks for the
world
lurk,
was a
Miss
small
Rena.
cabaret stage featuring an elephant magician. On the other, a hippo known to ramble on and on. That one was more of a joke for the parents, but it was the main stage that was for the kids. A rocking band of characters featuring a yellow chicken thing with a southern drawl named Chica, backed by a band of other
Mm-hmm. I thought the
country-themed
mediocre
characters,
melodies were
including a
made
pig with a
near
banjo,
before
an
Pizza
upbeat
Sim.
frog from the
No, I
local
guess they were
swimming hole,
made
and a
because they were
brown
made
bear.
by Henry. They must have been like before they even got together to make, like, to put their like thoughts together. You know?
with a heavy
No one draw that.
Southern
What?
accent. Wait,
No one
a
draw that.
bear? But bears were his
animals.
Why not a cow or a horse? Something to fit the country.
Yeah, why not a
theme bit
cow?
Better. Why'd it have to
What's
be
wrong
a
with cows?
bear? And adding insult to injury, they had the nerve to call this thing Ned Bear, a direct
Oh,
copy
Lord.
of his own Fred Bear.
Whoops, that's gonna leave a mark.
No, that was not okay. Afton's jealous admiration turned to hardened bitterness. A bitterness that would only grow over the next couple of years as families continued to choose Chica's party world over Fred Bear's. William just couldn't couldn't compete with the appeal of the robots. Eventually, his restaurant would go bankrupt, only to get bailed out by, of course, Henry Emily. Another insult, another humiliation that William wouldn't soon forget.
So did he, like, become friends with them then?
Bitter,
or
Afton couldn't deny
why
that
did he
what
bail
came
him
next
out?
was a period of massive success and expansion. With the two franchises now merged into one, it was the best of both worlds. Afton's ideas with Henry's robotic expertise.
So did he kill his daughter because he copied his design? And then he was like, what? Oh, I don't
decided
know, man.
to launch under a new name, Fredbear's Family Diner, a pizza chain
He was
that
jealous
would
of him?
eventually
Oh,
come
yeah,
to feature a mix
probably.
of humans in performing suits as well as on-stage animatronics. They decided to stick with Fredbear as the headliner, considering the yellow bear was easily identifiable as a brand because he was the original performing animal mascot.
OG.
Afton appreciated that. This new restaurant would also see a mix of characters as the two franchises merged into one, with Pig Patch and Happy Frog performing right alongside Fredbear and Bonnie.
Really?
And as part of this one big Fredbear family, they even got themselves official merch that were released, ranging from masks to magnets.
The crappy Mr. Hippo fridge magnet?
Oh.
That said, not all the characters were winners. The reception to some characters was just mediocre, so they faded away into the dumpster, storage units, and retro budget tech stores of lost nostalgia, waiting for their chance to step back into the limelight if and when a headliner went out of commission. Others, though, would fare much better, like a new Pirate Fox, as well as a blue guitar-playing variant of the yellow Bonnie Bunny. Ultimately,
What
the
a
franchise
big
would
fat
get
wet
so
kiss
big
from
it would
Henry.
spawn
No,
its
he
own
did not. This is
cartoon
not
show,
enemies to lovers,
Fredbear
guys.
and Friends. Business was booming. In the end, Fredbear and Bonnie's popularity would be so strong that they would be able to support the Fredbear's Family Diner franchise all on their own, while also spinning off a new sister location dedicated to their friends. In 1983, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza launched, giving a dedicated home to all this new supporting cast of characters. Chica the Chicken, Bonnie the Blue Bunny, Foxy the Pirate, and of course the headliner, a brown Freddy Fazbear. Business was good, and Afton was happy, mostly. It did bother him that the one original character that he created, the one that he himself played, Golden Bonnie, got passed over for inclusion in that cartoon show. The only character in the roster of regulars to get ignored for the show, but other than that, things were going smoothly. He had himself a wife, 2 sons, a daughter. He had a thriving business.
Wife is purple
and best
too
of
right
all,
now?
he was able to learn the craft of robotics from the man that he both loved and hated, Henry. Together, they were constantly pushing business.
Oh
And best
crap,
of
I
all,
clicked
he
the
was able to
button!
learn the craft of
Myra! Myra with the 8 months. Thank you! Can we get a pog in the chat for Myra, please? Hi, Myra. Where the heck were we? Oh god, guys, I don't even remember where we were. Oh god. Okay, Dancing Bear, Freddy. Here?
As well as a blue guitar-playing variant of the yellow Bonnie Bunny. Ultimately, the franchise would get so big, it would spawn its own cartoon
we were like around
show,
here. Okay.
Fredbear and Friends. Business was booming. In the
Business
end,
was booming.
1983,
There we go.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza launched, giving a dedicated home to all this new supporting cast of characters. Chica the Chicken, Bonnie the Blue Bunny, Foxy the Pirate, and of course the headliner, a brown Freddy Fazbear. The one over for inclusion show, but other business. And best of all, he was able to learn the craft of robotics from the man that he both loved and hated, Henry. Together, they were constantly pushing the limits of what these characters could do. Because it was quick and easy, new characters introduced into the roster would be given a simple hand-sewn suit with 5 fingers that any performer could wear. Eventually, Henry would design one of his signature animatronics for that character, utilizing a divided mouth with either a hinged or sliding jaw design. This was the first generation of animatronics.
First
But why
gen.
stop there? Afton had big ideas. What if the animatronics weren't just locked to the stage, but could freely roam the restaurant and interact with the kids? What if his mascot suits could become animatronics? What if you could use more than just rigid metallic skeletons? Why not experiment with tubes and wires that would give the animatronics fluidity and flexibility while still providing structure? The possibilities for this technology were endless.
I feel like that
Afton
just makes
fell
it
in
creepier,
love
to be
with
honest.
robotics. He had started with a dream of bringing one simple singing bear to life, but with robots, he had stumbled across the tools that gave him the ability to control life itself. And thanks to Henry, he was practically speedrunning his way to an engineering degree. And while William wouldn't admit it out loud, one other thing that kept pushing him forward was the desire to beat his former rival, to prove himself smarter.
He's
and more
actually
capable,
obsessed
to surpass the
with
man
him,
who
bro.
Everyone else considered to be a visionary genius. But pride cometh before the fall, and tragedy was about to strike. Okay, so that brings us
Get
to the
out
end
of there,
part one of the
Henry.
story. That
He's
said, at the end of
crazy.
each of these chunks chunks, I want to break down some of the logical leaps that I made, since the more narrative format doesn't give me much of a chance to justify a lot of the big decisions. And admittedly, there are some large—
Femur?
Whoopsies.
Femur! You changed your name! Hi, Femur! Thank you for the 25 months! Can we have a pog in the chat for Femur, please? Welcome in, Femur! And later in theories a few weeks ago, Matt Pat said he was pretty sure that Harry and William were switched roles, as in Henry was the one in debt and not William. Oh.
I forgot I have bits.
Oh, that makes sense as to why they would team up, because I'm like, why would, if he was successful, team up with the guy that was losing, you know? But William would team up with him for his smarts, you know? But thank you for the 5 bits, Myra. I appreciate that.
large leaps in here.
Okay,
Let's
do
just
we
start off
want
with Fredbear's
to watch
signature.
this like bit here,
So, shall
where
we?
it's
We
like
know starts laying
like
Me
the,
too,
the
Myra.
bits of
especially
stuff.
Ned Bear, which is
yeah,
he's
this
doing
is just
this
stuff
maliciously.
these
He
basically
doesn't
already
strike me
talked
as the
about.
characters merging to become one. It's bothered me for years at this point. It might also explain why William decided to stuff his first tale that mediocre
hold on.
faded away. It's also why when Freddy's closes after a joke,
Hold on.
party
Do we want to watch this
calls
bit?
up here. But
I want to be
why
able to
would
watch
call
all
out
of them
the
this
rival
stream, though?
restaurant as being named Chica's Party World. Few things actually. First, we know for a fact that a location named Chica's Party World exists. It is mentioned in the source code teasing sister location, so it is out there somewhere and doesn't fit cleanly anywhere. Second, in the story The Puppet Carver, Chica is very explicitly looped in with the book versions of Pig Patch and Ned Bear, implying that she started as a mediocre melody. Thirdly, her design just fits better with a theme of down-home country animals with southern accents playing the banjo and eating with bibs. And with her being the headliner
And now
of the
she
show
sounds
with
like
her
a
name on
valley
the
girl.
restaurant, it would make sense then that when the restaurants merged, she was the one that was added to the main cast of characters while all the other mediocres faded away. So
Okay, and that's why he stuffs them. Okay. Next one.
hell, the childhood dream projects from the
Do-do-do.
emerged, spawning
There we go,
popular
okay.
Saturday morning cartoon shows, toy lines, and spin-off restaurants under the Fazbear name. When last we left him, Afton was thriving. The world of
Oh, yeah,
robotics
it's a
opened his
hippo.
eyes
It's
to
one of the
new and
mediocre
exciting
melodies.
ways
I was
of
wondering
bringing
why there was a
characters to
Meg
life.
of those.
Bringing things to life. Yeah, that was his core driving force, his passion. And it was this very passion that would mutate, twist, and morph from here on out in the story. Because with life, there is inevitably death. Something that Afton would become intimately familiar with. But before Afton acquaints
Hello,
himself with death,
Internet.
I want
Welcome
you
to
take some time
Game
to acquaint
Theory.
yourself with our newest channel. Guys, this is a huge moment.
Stop plugging yourself right now! Guys, go
Over
support
time,
MatPat
by
because I am
edifying
using
my
their content,
e-look
but I
rules
do
and
really just
curve
want to
at the
know
start.
about
you know, it's a channel
about
where
the
we're gonna
FNAF
physically
lore.
be
Please just tell
skeptical
me
whether
about the
and
FNAF
recommend
lore.
starting with Sicilian Subsidiary
I just want to
Marathon.
know
And now
about.
with
I
the
just want to
department.
know about the FNAF. Thank you.
1983, business was booming with 2 whole
In school,
restaurant
where's the- go to your
franchises
school,
running,
Myra.
Fredbear's Family Diner and the newly opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Together, William and Henry had been able to take the hybrid suit idea
did they
and
get
make it into a
Fazbear?
reality. They
Where
called
did they
their
get
new
that from?
invention the Spring
You have all
Lock
weekend?
suit.
Oh, okay, come
Fittingly
chill with
enough,
us
it was
then.
symbolic of the partnership between these two men. A human suit as designed by William that could become a
Did they just use a cutout of Markiplier? Is this not literally just Markiplier? Why are they pretending that this is William? That's Markiplier, okay? We are not fooling anyone, MatPat.
freestanding Henry-style robot. But because it was still new tech with kinks to work out, the rollout was limited.
It is,
Restricted
yeah,
only
that's
to the
what I'm
Fredbear's
saying. I
Family
think it
Diner
is.
location. All of this meant that William was busier than ever. He didn't have time to be a full-time parent, so he designed a nanny cam system where cameras and speakers were hidden throughout the neighborhood, as well as in his youngest
Okay,
son's
why
favorite
would you
toy,
have kids if
psychic
you're not gonna
friend
take care of the
Fredbear.
kids? I don't
mean,
understand
plushy
people.
Fredbear. But since cameras just weren't enough to raise a kid, he also left childcare duties to his eldest son, Michael. There was just one problem with that. Michael was far from the best babysitter. He tormented his younger brother by jump scaring him with a foxy mask and constantly left him behind.
This
William
poor
watched all of
kid,
it from his
man.
cameras. Kids would be kids.
Evan
Tomorrow
is
was
so
another
messed
day,
up.
after all.
Hello,
Except
everybody. My name
Michael's
is Mark
torment
Blair.
didn't stop. Bitter, angry thoughts would run
Mark is
through
part of the
Michael's
lore.
mind.
He
Why
made
did
up the
he have
names.
to be the one to take care of this
Did he
whiny
actually?
crybaby all the time? It just wasn't fair. It was time that he got even with his brother by playing the ultimate prank. A prank that just so happened to be on this crying child's birthday. He and his friends would take his scared little brother and make him do the one thing that he was terrified of doing, getting close to the
Oh, Lord.
animatronics. That would be embarrassing for the kid that was such an embarrassment to him. His brother squirmed, screamed,
Bro,
kicked
this
and fought, but
poor
just as they were putting that
kid!
small, squirming boy up to Fredbear's lips, the
Traumatizing.
mouth snapped shut. The sensitive
Even if
spring
he
locks
didn't
inside the
die,
body
like,
had
that
been
was
triggered by the boy's
traumatizing.
movements, and they'd immediately
Scott, listen to
clamped
him. That's
down.
so
The
cool.
wriggling stopped. The boy went limp. but it was just a prank. It was meant to be funny. The boy was taken to the hospital and was immediately given an IV. Flowers and pills filled the nightstand next to his hospital bed, but the damage was too severe. He couldn't recover. As the younger brother's consciousness began to fade, he could hear Michael's last words, a small and flimsy apology. But his father, Williams, through the voice of the Fredbear plush, were a firm and committed promise to a dying son. You're broken. I will put you back together. This would not be long. No matter what, Williams' son would live again. It would just take time. Time that, right now, he just didn't have. His young son's heart flatlined as the boy faded into the inky unknown of the afterlife. In the aftermath of the tragedy,
he dies,
and then Williams
puts
were
him
now
in the
required
Golden
to wear
Freddy,
security
or
wristbands to prevent anyone
it's
from
just a
getting
prank,
outside
bro?
without
No.
proper permission. Any kid who approached the exit without
That's why
permission
Golden
would
Freddy
have
is
to
named
answer to
Golden
the
Freddy.
security
It's named
puppet,
the
a
kids in the
marionette on
books in the
strings that
main
could fly
cast.
around on
Oh.
rails across the restaurant to stop kids in their tracks. It was Williams' idea, inspired by Michael constantly leaving the restaurant without his brother. In the wake of Fredbear's spring lock failure, all the hybrid suits were getting retired, locked away at the nearby Freddy Fazbear location. It was yet another tough pill to swallow after all the hard work that he and Henry had put into them. William would eventually bury the boy's small body in a remote location out in the woods right alongside his drive into and out of work every day. The death of this little boy sent the family spiraling. His wife, crippled with grief, was so distraught that all she could do was sit and watch TV. But his son Michael was far worse.
Yeah,
Complaining
'cause
of
it was
seeing
his fault,
hallucinations of a
man.
golden bear standing outside of his window.
This
The boy was so
poor
racked with
family,
guilt that he was
man.
convinced that he
What?
was being haunted by the ghost of his brother stuck inside the suit that took his life. The suit's three-toed feet digging into the wet earth. The words, "It's me," ringing through Michael's ears. Some nights, Michael would even go so far as to break out of his room to check the gravesite and ensure that his brother was still there. As
Is
for
Michael
William
the yellow
himself,
one
He
then?
disappeared into his work and his drinks. Junior's,
I
the
thought that
local
was
bar,
Henry.
wasn't far from his son's gravesite. He found himself going there more and more frequently, spending longer and longer amounts of time there. The bar gave him a place to think, to remember, to reflect and stew on how Henry had stolen his idea for an animal-themed restaurant. How they'd cut his character out of the cartoon.
So is he
when everyone
blaming
else was
everything
there.
that
How Henry
happened?
had humiliated him by buying him out of bankruptcy. And now there was his son. Henry had taken his son from him.
Henry did not take your son from you!
William ordered one more drink, but it was one too many. The bar turned him out and told him to go home. But William
Henry
didn't go
did not
home.
kill your child!
Angry,
Oh my
William
god,
raced
this
back to
guy.
the restaurant to give Henry a piece of his mind, only to find someone else.
The yellow
waiting.
one in the minigame
Henry's
is
daughter,
William.
Charlie, locked outside of the building.
So he goes, oh, because my son killed him, that means that Henry killed him. Let me just murder his daughter
He's
real quick?
laughing at her through the window.
What?
Find some other problem to fix. But then Afton got an idea. A beautifully awful idea. This was his chance to get back at the man that had humiliated him all those years ago. Henry had killed his business, and now Henry's robotic suit had killed his son. It was time for William to do some
You
killing.
wanted to
Let
combine the
Henry
suits?
feel
Oh
what
my
it's
god.
like to have something you love get ripped away. While parties continued inside the walls of the pizzeria, William attacked Charlie in the back alley. It felt good. He felt free. The years of
God.
resentment and bitterness trapped in his heart finally released
Okay.
in a moment of
So he started killing kids because he originally wanted revenge and he was broken after his son died. Okay. Still not good. However, I did think that he just started killing children for no reason. So that is, he has a reason. That doesn't justify it, but at least there is a reason. I thought he was just doing it for no reason, so.
pure unapologetic
He's just a broken
evil.
man.
He
And you know
would
what?
make
I do like him broken. But not like this, because he murders children!
Henry hurt like he hurts.
I like him like
In that moment,
Simon
William became
Petrikov
killer,
in
dropped
frickin'
Charlie's
Fiona and
lifeless
Cake.
body
That's how I
and
like him.
drove home, forced to confront his family problems later that night, appalled, but also a little excited by what he had just done. Charlie's death would remain on the books as a random act of violence, and though Henry had suspicions about William, there was no physical evidence, nothing that could link him back to the crime. In the weeks that
You
followed,
like 'em
Fredbear's
broken?
family
I can
diner
fix
would close
them.
for good. 2 high-profile deaths around the restaurant with 2 grieving owners in such a short period of time was just too much bad press to handle. Besides, Freddy Fazbear's was still open, and it was the newer restaurant anyway. All the equipment from the diner, including the old yellow suits and security puppet, would get retired to that location.
It was
and
for
there they would sit for
security.
2 uneventful years. The rest of 1983 and 1984 were spent quietly grieving. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the new cast of characters
This is
were
so
a hit.
depressing.
Tragic memories of their yellow predecessors quickly faded. Afton kept a low profile and buried himself in work and research, quickly reaching Henry's level of engineering and even surpassing him. And while Henry slowed down to grieve, Afton kept going, even starting his own company, Afton Robotics, for all those pet projects that were a little bit too experimental for for the regular operations of the pizzeria. The first of these
Puppet tried to do
experimental
that, you
projects
see how
was a
that went?
secret
Wait,
workshop
what do you mean
under
the
his
puppet
house.
tried to do that? Like, tried to protect them because they were the security one, right? The puppet tried to protect the girl, right? William really said Delulu is the Solulu. What does that mean?
A veritable bunker, which allowed him to
Yes,
work
yes,
while
I did
still
see that.
monitoring his kids via hidden security cameras. 1983. A passcode that served as a constant reminder of why the cameras were so important, why he was down there in the first place. This was all to fulfill the promise that he had made to his son, right? I will put you back together. This was for him. All for him. Right? But cameras weren't enough. He needed to solve the runaway
Of course he
Michael
makes the
problem.
password
He
to
had to
date
keep
the
him
freaking
in
year
the
his
house.
son
He couldn't
died.
have another one of his
Oh,
kids wind
delusion
up
is the
dead
solution.
inside of an
Yes,
animatronic
he does
suit.
think
so
that.
why not run a little experiment on Michael? You see, all this work with Henry had gotten Afton to start learning more about life, robots, the human mind, and what a fallible machine we as humans were. Our reality is so easy to manipulate with a few sensory deceptions. Deceptions like sound. With just a few sounds, he had discovered that he could alter a person's vision. He could transform blank, smooth plastic robots into lumbering, twisted nightmares.
Oh, gosh.
Nightmares far scarier than he could create with actual materials. They would appear organic, rotting, putrid, terrifying. These would be his means of keeping his son Michael in the house where he belonged. Was it extreme?
Oh my
Maybe.
gosh.
But then again, this was the boy who had killed his son. He would make
I
him
thought
son.
Henry
So Michael
killed
would
your
grow up
son.
not
Make
only
up your
dealing with
mind,
the memories of
William.
his own guilt, the hospital room, the pills, the flowers, the death of his
Evil
brother,
apple?
but
That wasn't
also
an apple.
facing literal nightmares.
I have a
illusions
genuine
created by
I
sound.
thought the nightmares Evan was experiencing in his coma, but Michael's experiencing them? Genuine question, since Evan was killed by Fredbear, is Evan in Fredbear now? I don't know if he's in him yet. I don't think he's in him yet. I don't think he's... Does he get... I don't know if he's in him yet. But he does go in him eventually. I know that. But I give his own son nightmares. He doesn't care. He had him watching them with nanny cams, and one of them dies, and now he's freaking... Like, why would you do this to your child?
Michael
I
would
don't know,
never
man.
forget these either. Years later, as a security guard, he would still draw pictures of them inside of his logbook. But all of these extra projects meant that his home life suffered even more. He was an absent father and a non-existent
He was
husband,
already.
leaving his wife cold and alone.
Why do you hide inside your wall?
Is Ballora the wife? And people are down bad for him. Why? That's what I'm saying, Gingy. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because in the UCN, you can hear a voice after they talk. Like, if you want to look up the voice lines and listen. I know that there's two people in Golden Freddy at one point, and it's Crying Child and Cassidy, I believe. Yes, she is. Is it confirmed? Wait.
Music in my halls.
Is she British? Are they all British?
All I see is an empty
I thought this was in Utah.
room. No more joy, an empty tomb.
And despite her repeated demands that he leave his office and engage with the family, he refused time and time again, leaving her no choice but to leave.
No, the wife isn't British.
You
Okay.
call that a house? It was like a morgue in there. You need to see your son.
The baby isn't mine.
Well, how's this? I'm keeping the diamond ring.
And through it all, there was one lingering feeling. William
I
wasn't
remember that
done.
little
He had
show.
gotten a taste of what it felt like to be unleashed, what it felt like to be free. Charlie's murder had unlocked something in him, and he wanted more. June 26th,
This guy's
1985.
crazy,
Putting on the
man.
golden Bonnie suit, he lured children one by one to the back room of the pizzeria when no one was looking. At first, he was cautious. He would lure them with promises
Maybe
of
from a
taking
place
cookies.
other than the
He
UK,
told
Mel.
them that their dog had died.
Okay,
He would
yeah, but
ask
he
for-
was like, he grew up in Utah. It said that he was a kid in Utah. He grew up in Utah, so he would grow up with a like American accent, right?
for help with homework. Susie was the first.
Laura's a representation of Mrs. Afton. She's not actually her. Okay.
Never truly forget your first.
I have seen everything.
But where to hide the bodies? He couldn't sneak out. Someone would see him. He had to hide them in a place where they'd never be found and where they'd never leave the building. They had to be stuffed inside. the
I just put 'em
suits.
under
No
the
one maintained those
floorboards.
things anyway, except for him. And so Susie would go into Chica. Fritz, Jeremy, and Gabriel would come next, but it was easy. It was too easy. And with each little life he snuffed out, his lies got
First
bigger.
was too
Their
easy.
house
They're
was
children.
burning. They're just being kidnapped. Until the last one where all pretense was off. He let himself get violent. Too violent.
I'll just wait for him after school, throw a bag over his head, hit him with a shovel, and drag him into the back of my car.
The body of Cassidy was far more bloody and broken than any
Oh,
of the
God.
others. He'd let himself go too far. That one he shouldn't have killed. With no more active animatronics left, he shoved the body into the one suit that remained backstage. The long-forgotten yellow Fredbear. Now
There we
broken
go.
and
Guys, do you
discolored
ever just sit and do the Golden Freddy pose? Because I'll sit and make this face just for fun. Just for fun sometimes. The voice actor can't help these murders. There is no voice actor! What do you mean? What voice actor?
with age, broken.
When he goes, I always come back. That's an American accent, is it not?
Like Cassidy was broken, like his son was broken.
His parents probably British, he got the accent from
reported
them.
on
Is
this
he actually
disappearance, naming
British?
the whole thing the
Is
missing
this like a
children's
thing?
incident. Police would even charge William with the crimes after finding security footage of the golden mascot suit luring kids to the back, but they couldn't convict him. They had no bodies, and his face had been hidden behind the mascot suit the entire time. What they had was circumstantial at best, and so he walked
sister
away
location,
a
he's
free
British.
man.
Really?
But Henry knew the truth. In these murders, he saw his daughter
No, I haven't
Charlie
seen the
all
interview.
over again. So he threw Afton out of the company and shuttered the doors to the old pizzeria.
For
Henry
real.
would keep the
Good
franchise
job,
quiet
Henry.
for 2 years. This would not happen again. This could not happen again. How could he protect the kids? Finally,
See,
he
he's a
developed
good
solution.
man!
He
He's a
would
good
implement
man!
An even more extreme security system in the form of new animatronics, toy animatronics, inspired
William
by the toy
made her as a way to make sure that, quote unquote, she will never leave him. Okay, so it was like making a version of her so that he'd always have her by his side.
that
Okay.
they had been selling years ago. But these guys, these were special. They were a new breed of robot with facial recognition abilities.
But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect
Is
a
that Fun
predator
Guy?
a mile away.
All the original animatronics, now withered with age, were moved to the new
Ugh.
location. With a plan in place, it was time to try once more. The year was 1987, and the new and improved
The White of
Freddy
87!
Fazbear's Pizza was making headlines in local newspapers. Headlines that just so happened to catch the attention of William Afton. Freddy's was back, and without him, that was his idea, his character. Henry
Oh,
was yet again
Lord,
trying to
you're
cut
so obsessed
him
with
out of
this.
the picture. No,
This
as
is
long as these
my
restaurants
idea.
stayed
I
open,
just
William
murdered
would
children and got
always
kicked
come
out.
back. Then he noticed the phone number to apply at the bottom of the article. $100 a week to apply call. Afton would go back, not as an owner or co-founder. He would go back in the one place that they would least suspect him, a lowly day shift security guard.
Oh, a
There it
day
was, buried in the
shift?
back of parts and services mixed in with
Not
the
even
old
night
withered
shift.
animatronics was the golden rabbit. With the yellow security badge still on his chest, he used his crank to pull open the spring locks. It was time for Bonnie to give an encore performance.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, especially concerning any previous employees. When we get it all sorted out, we may move you to the day shift. A position just became available.
You know, Truck should have been
1987,
police.
five
Oh my god, that
better
scared
getting
me.
back into the suit
If they
after
were in the
2
criminal
long years of
database, they
waiting,
would
or
attack
knowing
the
how
baddies.
devastating
You
this
know
would be to
what?
Henry
That's
the
true,
next
but we
morning.
want the justice system, right, guys? We don't want to just murder people, right, guys?
Didn't even try to
Right,
hide his crime
guys?
this time, just meant more blood on Henry's hands. He'd failed to protect the kids again. The restaurant had only been open for a few weeks, but William was sure that this would get it to close. Good, if he couldn't have Freddy's, no one would. Whenever a new pizzeria opened, he would be there. But as he sat in his bunker, something else started to linger in William's mind. He had seen something strange. The old withered animatronics, they had been wandering around the building, spurred on by the puppet. It was almost like those old robots were trying to save the kids. Save them? They couldn't, obviously, but still, how were they moving? It was almost like they had been given life
How were they
somehow.
moving?
Did he have something to do with that? The following
Because
day,
there
the
was
news would report a
remnants,
security guard
apparently.
getting bitten by one of the
Day shift
animatronics
at
during the day shift. Was that
Freddy's.
bite meant for him? William's curiosity was stronger now than his bloodlust. He had to learn more, but how?
Which one's
there was
FNAF
no way he'd ever be able to
6?
get inside another Freddy's pizzeria. Heck, there was practically no way a Freddy's would ever open again. He needed to create something new.
Even security
something
breach
brand
happens at
new.
night.
Oh,
He needed to
Security
create
breach doesn't
his
happen
own
during
pizzeria.
the
Due to the
daytime.
massive success, and even more so the unfortunate
Oh, Pizzeria
closing of Freddy
Simulator.
Fazbear's
Yeah, that
Pizza,
is
it was
during
clear
that.
that the stage was set, no pun intended,
for another contender in children's entertainment.
Circus Baby's Pizza World.
Circus
This
Baby!
would be the place where he could continue his work.
Why is
No
there a ball
longer just
version up there?
murdering, experimenting. He needed more kids, and he needed them alive. And knowing that he couldn't show his face on the restaurant floor, he needed a way of remotely capturing his victims and preserving them for his work. With that goal in mind, he designed a new breed of animatronic. Their endoskeletons fluid and flexible. He equipped them with sound lures that could mimic voices. They could isolate children. They could incapacitate and contain them with zero direct input from him. It was brilliant. He was brilliant. Far beyond the simple bars and wires of Henry's designs. And the characters he chose for this were uniquely his. His new roster wasn't going to be tainted by Henry's disgusting barnyard bird. Instead, it was back to his characters, his creations, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, as well as two special ones. The first, Ballora, was an homage to the woman who left him. Now she would never
she
leave him
left?
again.
She didn't
The
she didn't
second,
help the
titular
kids?
baby was designed with his baby in mind, Elizabeth, his youngest child. She would always be Daddy's little girl, the one that listened to him, the one that obeyed, until the day that she didn't.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her?
Oh, she's British too! I guess they're British, man.
Pretty and shiny. Didn't you make her just for me?
The day before Circus Baby's Pizza World
Lord.
opened, she disobeyed. She didn't listen. Left alone with Baby, she got too close. The animatronic ripped in half and swallowed her whole. A scared and confused child fading into eternal darkness. By the time Afton found her, it was too late. She was gone. He immediately canceled the launch of Circus Babies under the
So they
guise
never
of
got
a
to
gas-
see the light of
But wait,
day?
as he sat there at the foot of the stage, he noticed
Maybe
that
fact you can see a
something was
child in
different.
some of the
eye color
blueprints.
robot had
Ugh.
changed. Baby had been built with blue eyes, but now they were emerald green, the same color as
Whoa!
Elizabeth. Was she in there? Could this all be connected to the free-moving animatronics that he had seen at Freddy's? He had to know more. His mourning turned to excitement. He had to return to where it all started. 1993. Pathetic. This place was pathetic. Henry had clearly tried to reopen one final time with those old original animatronics from so
it
long
would
ago,
not
but
work,
Williams'
obviously.
damage to the brand had been permanent. These things stank of death. They hadn't been washed in decades. But even if they had, nothing could wash away the
They
stink of
literally
murder
stink
that
of death.
haunted
They
these
had
halls.
corpses
One
in
night,
them.
Then another, then another.
And
William
no one
repeatedly
washed
snuck
them?
into the old broken restaurant to lure the living animatronics to him,
Maybe
one
because
by
there's an
one
area in Utah where
dismantling
people-
them,
most
robbing
people
them
speak
of
in
their
British accent? Oh.
endoskeletons. The metal had to be the secret. It had to contain the remnants of life itself. But he had to know for sure. Leaping out of a room that was invisible to the animatronics programming, he dragged the oversized robotic skeletons back to his underground workshop, back to where Circus Baby watched on with glowing, curious eyes. Eyes that somehow felt alive. Not knowing what else to do, William melted the robotic parts down. 5 animatronic
Circus Baby's
endoskeletons
watching this
reduced down to
happen.
one silvery puddle of goo. Could he transfer this living metal to his own creations? He had to try. He picked up a syringe.
How did
and
they
filled
even
it with
make
the
living
molten
metal?
and
Is it
injected
because of the
glue into
puppet, or
Funtime
was-
Freddy's
did
twisted,
Henry
wiry
do it?
endoskeleton? And suddenly the coils came to life. Like snakes writhing in a pile, what had once been cold, lifeless metal moved and jolted on its own. He'd done it! He had unlocked the secret to life itself. Except something was clearly wrong. The movements were erratic. They were violent, angry. Baby didn't act this way. She had been calm, collected. This was clearly something else. Something mindless and frantic. Perhaps by mixing the souls and then portioning them out, he had created incomplete beasts. He would need to keep testing to truly
Probably.
understand it. He needed more.
You can't take
of this
part of a
remnant.
soul.
As he searched the old pizzeria
No,
one
William
more time
did
for any
that?
remaining
Okay.
scraps of metal, the ghosts attacked. His past victims come to collect their due, all led by
Well, then how were they
Cassie.
moving
The
before?
5 lined up and blocked the door, and Afton's mind reeled. The scientific implications of this were incredible. Ghosts, real ghosts that he could see, all standing against him. But what could they do? What couldn't they do? He panicked as Cassidy approached. How do you stop something that's already dead? Maybe with the thing that resulted in their death in the first place. He would get into his suit like old times. He would regain his power
and that
over
went
them
well.
just like the day that they died. He was the genius. He was the one in the suit. He was the one in charge. The spring lock
Not
snapped
the-
into place. Maybe it
Bro,
was just
not the
frantic movement. Maybe it was
Undertale
the leaky
hit
abandoned
sound.
restaurant. Maybe it was just fate coming to collect its due. He didn't know. The only thing he did know was that his brain was suddenly filled with searing white-hot pain as hundreds of metallic pins and gears stabbed into his body from all sides. All he could do was collapse, blood slowly oozing out of the suit and pooling onto the floor around
That's
him.
not
It couldn't
a
end
vibe.
like
Wait,
this.
why are we
It
lamowing?
wouldn't
What did
end
I
like
say?
this. His work was
Wait, what did I
unfinished. Unable
say?
to move, his only option was to survive, to live, to keep living. It took days lying in his own blood, but eventually
I'm gonna tell
someone
you,
found
if
him.
I
A
was lying in my
security
own
guard
blood,
making
I
a
would
normal
just die.
report. When he saw the animatronics torn apart in the middle of the party room floor, it caused him to file an immediate report of a break-in. An owner would have to come in and claim the damage, and who else would it be other than Henry? Hope jumped in Afton's heart. Henry would see him. They were partners after all. He would be the one to help save him, to get him out of this suit, to relieve him from this tremendous
still
pain.
alive?
Henry entered the secret room. His eyes fell on Afton sitting there in the pool of red, and Henry, saying nothing, turned and walked away.
On period, Henry! Oh, I said the Undertale thing. Oh, okay. Also, speaking of Undertale, today's the 8th anniversary. I know, I saw the dog thing on TikTok.
Previously mentioned safe rooms are being sealed at most locations, including this one.
Hi,
Most
Pumpkin.
taken out beforehand, so if you left anything
Welcome
inside,
in.
then it's your own fault. Management also requests that this room not be mentioned to family, friends, or insurance representatives.
And so there Afton would
Insurance
sit, hanging on
representatives.
for 30 years, trapped behind the walls with an iron will that refused to die. End of this part. I say this part because it's not officially the end of the Afton era just yet, but this just felt like a really solid
End of this part. Next.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game
Theory.
And page 20 of our final FNAF timeline. This is getting ridiculous. Last time we covered William Afton's rise as a serial killer. How the loss of his young son in 1983 caused him to make one
Thank you for the
fateful
look,
promise
Pumpkin.
that would ultimately serve as his driving force for decades. I will put you back together. Fueled by grief and
Oh, is he
obsession,
finally
Afton
gonna
would lose
fix the
himself
kid?
in work and drinks. One night in a fit of rage, he lashes out against Henry's young daughter Charlie, his first murder. This moment becomes the first domino to fall.
Okay,
in
this is a
long sequence
recap.
of events that
Wait, Henry Emily is the dude that dies at the end of FNAF World True Ending. Then how in the hell does he come back to try and end William in the end of Game 6? I don't know what FNAF World True Ending is. I know about the end of
produce
6.
the fun
I
time
don't know about him
as well as
dying
their
before
capture
that, though.
devices. Robots designed to bring kids to him for experimentation and collection of more remnant. Except there was one thing that he didn't account for. His daughter's curiosity. He made the robots too appealing, and it would cost him Elizabeth's life. Now with 2 children to put back together, Afton was more desperate and crazed than ever, returning to defunct pizzerias to steal the possessed metal still living inside their walls. What he didn't account for, though, were the ghosts, forcing him to pay for the sins of his past.
Okay,
When
we heard this
wrapping up
recap.
the Afton
There we go.
era. Over the with the
Afton
fallout
era.
of a stupid childhood decision with tragic consequences. A young man whose life is best described as collateral damage, caught in the blast radius of William's whirlwind of destruction.
I really hope
Now,
the
before
movie's
we begin,
good,
let me just rip
guys,
off the Band-Aid
because
now.
I'm
We
very
won't
excited
be finishing
for
the
it.
timeline today. I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to, but covering FNAF VR, AR, and Security Breach wound up taking me an additional 9 pages of script. And I've already made you wait long enough for this part, so I just had to make the executive call to break this
Because
one up into 2.
when
Don't worry, that part is already
He was
written.
talking about
It is
Henry.
already
He showed the
recorded.
picture of
It's
the
just in the
character that
process of
dies.
being
You're gonna have to look it
edited.
up. I
It
can't
is a
describe it.
hefty episode.
Oh.
So mark
We'll
it on your
probably get
calendar.
there
That
when
one's
we get to
actually
that
gonna be
part in the
going live
storyline.
on March 25th. It's also coming complete with a live talk back where we go back over
Okay, what is...
every episode.
Okay, here we go.
But usually there was some sort of notice, a phone call, a post-it, something. It's not like Michael and his father were close, far from it. But as a household of 2 suffering men coping with years of tragedy and loss, there was at least some element of communication between the 2 of them. They were united by a name and a shared pain. This time though, things felt
Which
different.
is not a good
William had left
relationship, to
nothing.
be honest.
His absence was longer. There were no check-ins, no updates, just silence. Something had happened. If there was one thing Michael knew about his father, it was that he had contingencies, safety checks, backup plans. His father was a careful and guarded.
Oh my god, that scared the crap out of me.
Prepared him in the event
Why?
that something like this ever happened. Normally, his father.
I'm
kept his
just
home office
listening
locked,
to the
but in
lore,
event
man.
of
I'm
an
getting into it. I'm
unexpected
sitting
prolonged
on my
absence,
hands and
Michael
everything.
had
Like
been
my
instructed to
my
enter
face
his
is in my
father's office
hands.
and look behind an
And I'm like,
empty set of
my
shelves
elbows are on the
mounted in
table.
corner of the room. Rolling his eyes, Michael entered the office.
I got all
Never fully understood how
comfy.
William was able to spend so many hours of his days locked up in here. There was just nothing to do. Most of this place was empty. He dragged himself over to the shelf in the corner, expecting to find an emergency contact list, a family safety deposit box. But what he actually found there was completely unexpected.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found.
Michael's British too? Are they all British? And I didn't know? But the guy playing him in the movie he's not doing British accent. They're all British? You mean, always come back, I do? That's the real line? Like, what is... Probably because Scott is British. Scott is British! Oh my god, guys, I can't do this. Everyone's British. Everyone's British. They're taking over again. It's history all over again.
The shelf swung open and revealed a giant industrial elevator, one that led straight down into an underground bunker. But that was impossible. Hidden inside his childhood home was a secret entrance to an enormous underground science lair? It didn't make any sense.
Well, your father
Seriously,
killed people, so...
It didn't make any sense. And yet, here it was, mapped directly underneath the floor plan of the house that he'd grown up in.
That's
his
so
brother in, been tortured
crazy,
in.
man.
Michael thought that he'd known his father, a prideful, sad, angry man with petty everyday problems, but clearly he'd been living with a stranger this entire time. His father had secrets. Suddenly, the days of William being locked inside of his office made sense. He'd been here the entire time. Where was here, though? Was this Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals? The Circus Baby restaurant always did seem to be a deeply personal project for father. A failure of his that cut unusually deep, especially after that first location had to be closed prematurely due to the gas leaks. After that day, father really
Dude, just leave at this point. Don't get into this family business.
Clearly, the entrance
leave and live your own life. I guess he wants closure because
required crawling through vents to navigate.
Yeah, I guess he wants closure because he's tormented by.
And that's when he found her at the end of the facility, Circus Baby.
The death of his
pride
brother.
And joy. Except something was different about her. She wasn't like the others. The way she talked, the story.
She's not like the other
animatronics. Wasn't just a robot. She was alive somehow. And not only was she alive, she also felt familiar.
There is something bad inside of me. I'm broken.
Okay, so did she know that it was her brother though, or did she not know? Because I feel like she wouldn't have killed her brother, right? If she knew. Yeah, Michael, I believe, is the main character for Sister Location. Yes. Main character for Sister Location and the FNAF games because he goes to work as a security guard there to, like, investigate, I think, is what I've been told. I'm doing stuff in Sonic Frontiers using the map, but map won't pop up no more. Maybe reload?
Okay.
Save and reload?
Be fixed. Will you help me?
Was this his sister? William's baby girl? But how? Why? What was
a baby
this
girl?
place? He dug around some old files and found blueprints outlining the features of these animatronics, storage containers, voice.
Yeah, how did they explain the daughter dying to the rest of the family?
Was his father collecting and experimenting on kids? Were all the rumors that he'd heard throughout his past actually true? That the animatronics came to life at night? That there were murders done in all the pizzerias? That his father had somehow been the prime suspect in all of it? Suddenly, Michael's mind flashed back to his persistent nightmares throughout his childhood. Had he been experimented on too? Tears stung in his eyes as anger, fear, and
this
confusion
poor guy!
His father's secrets were pouring out. William wasn't just a lame, overworked father. He was a monster, toying with life itself. Suddenly, everything clicked.
And I don't mean that in like, yeah, he was a real monster. That's not what I meant. I just meant that he's a horrible person and he deserves to go to jail and never leave. Thank you.
Blinking
okay?
Human heads on poles staring back at him. Green eyes, his sister. Blue eyes, his brother. Closed eyes, his mom. All just staring expectantly. These were meant to be human. William was working down here trying to make believable humans, literally rebuilding the family that they had both lost. The small little girl robots with their British accents roaming the hallways of this underground facility set a whole new context.
Ew, what?
Were those meant to be his sister?
What the hell?
Was William building clones of his sister? They seemed to know him, after all, to react to his presence.
They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you.
He always did have a bit of a resemblance to his father. Michael's mind reeled as the reality of his world crumbled to dust. No, he had to get them out of there. If this really was
knew
his
that it was her
sister,
brother. I don't think she would have killed him.
Things were human souls, whatever remnant of the humans that they once were. They needed to be rescued.
They always put us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here.
Led by the voice of Circus Baby, he marched through the now empty halls of the Funtime Auditorium. He would lead them. He would protect them. And finally, he would be able to forgive himself for the killing of his brother so many years.
And then he gets scooped, bro. He gets scooped.
We're in the scooping room now. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
Scooper? That violent
Do
extraction
you know why
arm?
they
Michael
call
had seen
it
that one in
the
the pile of
scooper?
blueprints. Something
Because
about
it's
heat
scoop,
rendering
silly.
the magical silver metal inside useless. In reality, prior to getting himself spring-locked and put behind the wall, William's methods had become increasingly sophisticated, with a mechanized arm that could infuse new bodies with a soul. William could finally give and take away life. The only thing he needed were the bodies. But William
hear the
wasn't the only
creaking of
one
my
looking for
chair?
bodies, as Michael was about to learn.
I think you can hear it, right?
If we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go.
Michael was gonna be the hero to help these animatronics, all right. He was gonna help the haunted tubes and wires.
Yeah,
of these
but against his
animatronics
will
escape,
now.
just not in the way that he anticipated. His sister had lied to him. Another game of pretend. The scooper plowed forward, digging its extraction arm into his body. As he heard his bones ripping through his flesh, Michael.
But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not.
Yee.
For the next several months, Michael's life
They thought I was
He
you.
forced to confront
Oh
the
yeah!
wired
They thought I was you! They think they're scooping out the dad!
and spirits that lived
Lord.
inside of him. His body felt like an overfilled balloon begging to burst as day by day, week by week, his flesh began to sag and discolor. He was a walking, talking, rotting corpse.
Banana
alive,
peel,
but
bro.
wishing he wasn't. He was a puppet, a walking shell. And while he did his best to conceal his fate, there was only so much
before I
a man
become
filled
a
with robot spaghetti
puppet.
could do. The entity in his innards would eventually leave, but by that point, the damage had been done. His decaying flesh stank, turning him into a literal
Stank.
purple guy. But still, even with no bones, even with rotting purple flesh and begging to die, Michael continued to live. That silvery metal remnant injected by the scooper meant that he couldn't die. His anger also refused to die. What he had seen down there in his sister's location had rocked him to his core. His father had killed and captured dozens. His experiments had killed his sister. And
It's called sister location because it's a sister location of the restaurant, but it's also his sister's location. It's his sister's location. What? That's a double entendre, bro.
tortured him throughout all his childhood. He was
a double
entendre!
entendre!
Replicants. He didn't know where his father was, but Michael knew that he was out there somewhere.
I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you.
Michael had to correct for the sins of his father. He had to make things right. Michael would burn Fazbear Entertainment to the ground.
Yeah,
What else
get
would you
him!
do when your skin was permanently purple? Michael's strategy was simple. He would apply for night security guard positions at the old defunct pizzeria locations. That way, no one ever had to see him or smell him during his shift. And all these old, shuttered locations did need guards. Teenage vandals and squatters were always looking to get inside these abandoned buildings, and yet no one ever really wanted to work an overnight graveyard shift unless they were practically out of options. Enter Mike. One by one, he would take on the job of security guard, changing his name each time to ensure that no one was able to follow his paper trail. Once inside, he could tamper with the animatronics and figure out how they worked, writing about his experiences in his security logbook. While there, he would listen to the old tapes where upper management awkwardly welcomed new recruits to their summer jobs.
Is that phone guy? Is that phone guy? Is he upper recruit? I thought he was another security guard. He's an upper recruit?
Even though he was working there nowhere near the summer months. He heard the gory details of his father's franchise from the outsiders looking in, confused and afraid about what was happening in the walls around them. Sometimes he would see his brother in the form of the Golden Freddy suit. It's me appearing on the walls around him. Except now, there was something else there. He was no longer alone. Another angrier presence was also in the suit.
Yeah, I guess Crying Child was in there the whole time.
The same body. And Golden Freddy would attack him now. It was aggressive. Its vengeance
because of the
wanted to lash
remnant
out at anyone with the Afton name, anyone who wore a security guard outfit. Over time, Mike worked his way through the old restaurants, the original pizzeria, the bigger, better Freddy Fazbear's. He spent weeks there looking for clues as to his father's whereabouts, and each time at the end of his week shift, he would then set the location on fire. Remnant can't survive high temperatures after all. So burning away whatever
that's why they burn them!
Existed inside seemed like a winning strategy.
Because it would kill the remnant.
Was causing the nightmares to begin again. Hallucinations.
Well, clearly that didn't work.
The guilt around killing his brother. His dreams were oddly mixed with the shrill phone calls of the security guards. But it would all be worth it in the end. The goal
all
was
this
to
happened in the
eventually
future just for Michael to
stumble
go
across
back?
The one location, the one job that would finally reunite him with his father.
What do you
Little
mean in
did
the
Mike know
future?
that day,
Like all of this happened, and then Michael goes back to figure out what happened. That's what's happening. And to like get revenge for all the children in his family.
Sooner than he expected. 2023, an advertisement came across Mike's TV.
What is
Fazbear
that?
Frights, a new horror attraction inspired by the awful crimes that occurred around Freddy Fazbear's
Why would you
Pizza
base
so
it
many
off
years
of real
ago. It
crimes?
made
That's like
Mike sick.
horrible.
People looking to make a quick buck off the tragedy of
Literally
his own family. This wasn't a joke or entertainment. Regardless, he had to be a part of it. If this team was combing through his family's history, they might stumble across something that could be useful. And if his father was truly still alive as he suspected, there would be no way that he wouldn't show up here. Maybe finally, this could be the final chapter in his family's marathon of tragedy. Mike applied for the job and was immediately handed the keys. Years of doing this had taught him that
and they're just
security
hiring a
guards
guy
rarely
that
receive
looks like he's a
thorough
dead body,
security
or
checks. They also liked how creepy Mike looked. They thought it was a costume.
Oh, okay, they liked it.
Theme for the job.
There we go.
Hey, glad you came back for another night. I promise it'll be a lot more interesting this time.
For weeks, there was nothing. But just as Mike considered giving up, he received the call that he'd been waiting for years.
The entire family stayed, I agree.
We found one, a real one.
Could this finally be him? Sure enough, there he was. William inside his iconic golden Bonnie Springlock suit, only now it was green and decaying with age. And there they were, a small family of broken men finally reunited. It's been a long time, Dad. Mike had always struggled with the phantoms of his past haunting him, but now all the animatronics he'd encountered over the past months, hopping from pizzeria to pizzeria, suddenly sprang to life. Their burned faces
Balloon
haunted him as
Boy!
he tried to keep track of his
You should
father
watch the
on the
Super
camera.
Smash
It would
Bros.
seem that
Melee
William's
documentary.
mere
How
presence
long
would
is
put the
it?
spirits on high alert. Ultimately, they were harmless, more annoying than anything else, but there was one that felt different from the others. One that was more than just a mere phantom. The security puppet. If he looked at the cameras at just the right moment, he could see it floating there through the halls. He could even see its reflection in the water pool down the ground. It would seem like he wasn't the only one there on a mission. While he was dealing with Springtrap, Michael assumed that this one was likely dealing with the spirits of this place, finally setting them to rest. Hopefully this means a happier day for all of us, Mike thought to himself. And in that moment, he felt the air around him release, like pressure being let out of a bottle. The building sighed, as if 5 spirits had finally been allowed to move on.
Oh, that's good. Hi, Ruix.
He rigged the
Everything
wiring
going? We're
inside
just
the
watching
building
FNAF
to
lore.
misfire, and the dry, desiccated walls erupted in flames.
Only 4 hours.
Is finished. Except it was not. Somehow,
Man.
with sheer force of will, Afton remained. He had survived.
I hate him. He won't like just die, man. Give up. Give up. You're so clingy. Give up.
And Mike would need to find a new way of finishing
So
off
worth
his
it,
father.
though?
Luckily,
Alright.
the solution would present itself
I
later
will
that
take
year.
a picture
Not
of your
from
comment,
Mike, but
so
from
when I look
another
through my
victim that
photos,
had
I
been
remember
left
and
in
I
his
watch it.
father's wake.
We're talking about becoming a Fazbear Entertainment franchisee. Restaurant ownership and management. Something almost anyone can do with a limited degree of success. You are now the face of the newly rebranded Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Fazbear Entertainment as a brand had been closed for years. William had been stuck in a suit and a wall. The only person who legally could bring the franchise back was Henry, but he'd largely pulled out of the franchise around the time of his father's disappearance. Something was up. Surely this had to be some kind of a trick, right? Mike, doing what he did best, applied for a franchise and
I like
immediately got
nerd
the
shit.
job. There was just one thing out of the ordinary. Paragraph 4.
If you are playing this tape, that means that not only have you been checking outside at the end of every shift, as you were
Is this
instructed
Henry?
to do, but also that you have found something that meets the criteria of your special obligations under paragraph 4.
No employment contract he'd ever signed required him to keep special lookout for independently moving animatronics outside the restaurant. Now he knew something was up here. Henry was luring them all back. Rather than trying to go to them, like Mike had done for years, Henry was doing the opposite. He was putting them all under the same roof. He was finishing them off for good. Mike knew this wasn't meant to be a restaurant. It was meant to be a prison, a containment vessel, a locked box meant to trap them all in so they could finally end the madness. It took a few nights, but
Maybe
eventually
working
everyone was there.
together.
His father, the puppet, the robot spaghetti that had
These
once
are words like-
violated his body, and his sister.
That is
now
like not
hopelessly
chilling. It
devoted
used to
to
be
serve the
slang
man
people
that
in
had
the
once
game.
gotten
Oh,
her killed.
okay.
It was time. He had been instructed to seal the doors and leave, but while he locked everything down, he didn't move on. If this was truly meant to be the end, if the remnant needed to be washed away, he needed to be a part of that.
This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing
I love this line.
intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. And to you monsters trapped in
Oh
the
my god,
corridors,
so good, the
still.
speech.
And give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. Don't keep the devil waiting, home friend.
And with that, it was over. The
period.
Legacy died with all of them trapped inside of a literal box.
No, just don't say it,
Around
P.O.
office,
No,
Mike,
just
for
don't
the
just
first
don't
time
say
in
it. I'm
decades,
just
was
assuming that
happy.
there's
But
like
William
a slur or
wasn't gone
something.
yet. Although the darkest pit of hell was open and waiting for him, something or someone wouldn't allow him to move on. Instead, he found himself locked in moments from his past. The pizzeria.
Oh,
his
okay.
underground
Okay.
bunker. It was as if his brain's neurons
Okay.
were all firing at once.
Not a
overloaded,
slur.
Mixing
Still
and
bad.
matching all his biggest fears, regrets.
Don't keep the devil
failures.
waiting, old
What
friend. Yeah, I'm
was this
assuming that
place?
William
How
doesn't
did
want to
he
die
get
because he
here?
thinks
He
he's gonna
called
go to
out into
hell.
the silence.
Oh my.
Then they started.
Michael! Michael, don't leave me here! Michael! I hate that guy, man.
Without warning, animatronics, both new and old, began to jump out at him, bite him, rip him limb
I
from
agree,
limb. The
Demi.
pain was immeasurable. Make it stop. Make it stop.
I think they were
William,
saying
for the first
that
time, longed for
that
death and
that
end to
joke
this
was made
torture.
in
Just
the
as it felt like he
documentary,
couldn't take
so
it
they were
anymore,
getting a trigger
everything was
warning. They
quiet
weren't making
again.
a joke
It
about
was
it
as if
themselves.
the world had been reset. There was a brief moment of quiet, and then the onslaught began again. Dozens of faces from his past all focused on him. A waking nightmare that he couldn't escape from. More pain, more ripping. It was his own personal hell, but why? Why couldn't he just die? And then he saw them. A group of characters he never thought he'd see again. Those janky, stolen characters that had started
Janky.
the mediocre melodies. It had all started to go wrong once they showed up. Once Henry had made them. But
Oh
mixed
my
in with
God,
their
he blames
massive
everyone else but
southern
himself.
brawls, William heard something else. It was barely a whisper, but he could just make out the words.
He tried to release you. He tried to release us. But I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here.
So Cassidy
No matter
keeps
how
them?
many times they burn us.
Just let them be free, man!
But from where? The one he shouldn't have killed. William thought back. He'd done a lot of awful things, but there was always the one that stood out. Not Charlie, his drunken act of revenge. Not Susie, his first true murder, no. Instead, it was the one that he had lost control with. The one that he had broken beyond repair for no good reason other than because he could. The one that he'd stuffed inside the golden bear that his partner used to wear. Cassidy. They were back, and now they were trying to punish him, to make him suffer like he'd made them suffer. It was almost like William and Cassidy's
Which,
souls had
like,
been locked
yeah,
together, fused by a
but
collective rage and
also,
spite,
let
each
everyone
refusing
else
to move
go,
on. But while
and
Cassidy
let
was so
Crying
focused on
Child
taking
go.
revenge,
If
he
you have a
actually did the one
vendetta,
thing
then
that
do
would
it
be the
yourself.
downfall for so many others. They kept William alive. Even though fire should have destroyed the remnant that was coursing through his being, Cassidy kept William breathing, paving the way.
What? Oh, because death was too good for him. You have killed so many more children. You stupid, stupid Golden Freddy suit. Let him die so that he doesn't kill more children. What's wrong with you?
His soul
Oh
so
my
powerful
God,
that
you're
he
no
had to
better
burn
than
himself
him
inside
if you're
the
holding a
circuitry
grudge
that
like
housed
that
the
and
spring-locked suit.
making
And
other
there
people in
his
harm.
consciousness lay inside a single circuit board, waiting for someone to find him and set him free. A person that no one would suspect. Okay, so a bit of a shorter chunk, but an important one as we shift perspectives to Mike and tell his side of the story. And with FNAF.
And here we go.
Hello, Internet!
This should be the
Welcome
last
to
one, right?
Game Theory, and the final part of my FNAF timeline.
Yep, here we
where
go.
today
Final part.
we're bringing our story to a close by talking about the most complicated and controversial part of the timeline, the part that I've been dreading most of all, the end. The moment where we're finally forced to come to some definitive and difficult answers trying to explain what the heck we were watching in Security Breach. The last two
It's his
episodes have been
personal
about
hell.
death. The death of Afton's
Okay,
family,
well,
the
he'll
death of
probably
multiple
have his own
children, the
personal
death
hell
of
after
the
he dies
franchise
anyways, and
itself,
that way he
as Mike
can't
and
kill more
Henry
children. Like,
figuratively
why are you
and
letting him
literally burned it
traumatize
all
more
down.
children?
Today's episode, though, and the current end of this franchise, is instead all about rebirth. The return of old characters in new forms, and the controversial rebirth of a
If you keep being
franchise
upset,
entering
like,
the next
neither of you are
era
gonna
of
get
its
to
story.
rest.
But before we hop into the timeline, due to scheduling conflicts, I won't
Might not
be
be
able to
time
have any
for
live talk back
stream. You should
after
also
this
watch a
episode.
FNAF
I know,
series
I
after
promised
the
one, I was
timeline.
really
It'll
excited
explain
about
more
it, but I
lore
just
than
couldn't make it work with
that
my
Ruin
schedule and all the other
introduced.
guests'
Okay.
schedules. That said, I still do plan on doing one over the coming weeks with special guests. Just make sure that you're subscribed and either one was dead. For even the memories of the horror one the company had ever touched was dead and gone. Well, all except one.
Pay your child support, you deadbeat! I'm keeping the diamond ring. I also set the house on fire!
Clara Afton. She'd been there in the early days, back when things with William were good. They'd had the perfect home, a thriving business, the ideal family. But shortly after their youngest son died, things started to change. William had become distant, lost in his work, obsessive. She had watched him change from this irritatingly brilliant man that she had fallen in love with to a drunken monster struggling to hold himself together. And despite her trying to reach out
this part, I swear to God, Matt Pat pulled this out of his ass. I don't know, man. I don't know.
He was just too far gone.
Admit it, you wanted to let me in.
For her sake, she had to leave the relationship. And from there, she largely faded into obscurity. A mystery from William's past, a footnote in his history. And that was fine for her. She wanted to leave that part of her life behind. She tried to move forward, never wanting to hear the name
Good
Freddy
for her,
Fazbear
but like your
again.
children,
A
man.
time defined by mistakes and broken promises. But then, the paperwork started to arrive. As Fazbear Entertainment began to close as a corporate entity,
I'll write
suddenly
down
her
Velour
mail was flooded
lines.
with notifications, requests,
But Velour lines might be better if I make one about
helping
Sister
William
Location.
in the early days of his business, and now as a shareholder and sole.
Because if I make one about
member
Sister
of the
Location, I'm
Afton
gonna make it
family,
sound
all
really like
copyrights and
creepy
trademarks of
Oregon,
both
like
Afton Robotics
circusy,
and Fazbear
like creepy
Entertainment
circus
passed
type
on
music,
to
you know?
her. Memories of this past
Oh, did
life
indeed
that
hot,
she had
right? Don't worry,
long left
Demi.
behind. Looking at the blueprints, the contracts, the memos, she felt old wounds begin to reopen. The regrets of a happy family that had been torn away from her.
Oh, you
William
play
had
Velour's
always been
Lullaby on the
brilliant.
piano?
That's what
Ooh,
had
that's
attracted
pretty
her to
cool.
him in the first place. But he'd also been too blinded by obsession and pride. He was too jealous, too petty, too unable to actually see a bigger picture. But
My
now,
designs of
holding
my
the
OC do
paperwork
not
that
steal.
contained decades of heartbreak and trauma, she realized it was her turn. She was holding the power. This was her chance. And one thought resonated in her head. I will put them back together. I will put them all back together. She will be the one to rebuild this family. To rebuild the pieces.
What? Where is this coming from?
That shattered life. To reclaim the kids that Fazbear had stolen from her. But how? Looking at William's work now laid out before her, she knew that he had been onto something. Collecting remnant, robotic humanoids, digital conscience transference. The pieces were all in place. They were just scattered, fragmented. It was almost like there were too many ideas going in too many different directions. It was such an important idea that she reiterated that point to herself. There were too many ideas going in too many different directions. That said, there had to be a way to save it all. She just needed to put it all back together. But how? To rebuild her family, she would first need to rebuild the franchise that had stolen them away from her. With ownership over the characters, their licenses, the technology patents, and the Fazbear name, she converted the corporation back to an
she
LLC,
does
a structure
it?
for smaller businesses that are usually
Oh my God, there's an ad. Okay, here we go. And we're back to the song. Lost all control and we're forced here to take that role. We've been all alone, stuck in our little zone since 1987. Join us, be our friend, or just be stuck and defend. After all, you only got 5 nights at Freddy's. Is this where you wanna be? I just don't get it. Why do you want to stay 5 nights at Freddy's? Is this where you wanna be? I just don't get it. Why do you want to stay 5 nights at Freddy's? Welcome back, guys. I was just singing the FNAF song. Anyways,
The irony
continuing.
was fitting. From there,
I will
she would
hydrate
need
again just for you,
remnant,
Demi.
and lots of it. Remnant was the key. Clearly, in the later years of his life, William had been using Circus Baby's
Oh my gosh,
entertainment
I'm so
rentals as a
geeky,
remnant
guys.
farm, sending robots to kids' birthday parties in the hopes of nabbing bits of the stuff here and there. But clearly, it wasn't enough. He had, what, like 4, maybe 5 animatronics going out every week? No. It was a decent idea, but to get the remnant they required, it needed scale. Dozens, hundreds of animatronics all out there, all gathering remnant from unsuspecting customers. But to do that would require help, something William would never ask for. William had kept everything in-house. His obsession with control limited him. Clara,
Do you
though,
need to eat after
wasn't
this? Oh, I
nearly that
definitely
precious.
am.
Plan like this
I'm gonna
required
do my
partners,
schoolwork
people
tomorrow.
outside of
I was
Fazbear
gonna
to do the
cancel
heavy
stream and
lifting.
sleep
So
because
he
I was so
contacted a
freaking
mid-sized delivery
tired.
company, DLZ
But
Shipping Solutions,
I had
to
already
help build
canceled Tuesday
replicas of
stream.
all the
By the way,
original
guys,
animatronics.
I'm so sorry if it feels like I'm lacking on streams. I swear I'm trying my best. I even edited a TikTok that I haven't posted yet because it's almost done being edited. but I am so stressed with university and keeping up with streaming and making emotes and stuff. It's so stressful. Hello, Pikmin. Welcome in. Pikmin. Good. I agree Pikmin is good. I like the little I like the little Pikmin noise on TikTok that I hear a lot. It's pretty good. Moo put education first. I am doing that. I'm just, yeah, I know. Thanks for understanding, guys. I'm really trying my best. Thanks for the follow, Pikmin. Thank you. There you go. Get a little thank you. Anyways,
with meal delivery apps being
I'm
all
trying
the
my
rage,
best.
why not
I'm
put
just
animatronic delivery
very
service?
exhausted
Order one to
recently
celebrate
with
your
how much I
birthday,
have
your
to do.
Halloween party. How about a 4th of July picnic? We'll invite Liberty Chica and 4th of July.
Bro, I
Freddy
saw
on it.
Liberty Chica in a Walmart in the States, and it was so wild.
She would make sure that they made skins for every occasion. Chocolate Bonnies for Easter, Shamrock Freddy's for St. Patrick's Day, Dia de los Muertos Chicas. And thus, the Fazbear Funtime service was born.
That's right. With the Fazbear Funtime service, you'll never be alone again. You'll always have someone walk.
Is that real? Did they put Markiplier in a FNAF thing?
Watching your back.
Was it ridiculous?
Is that real?
Absolutely. Was it a sellout?
Is that like an actual
It was
FNAF
exactly
thing,
the
or?
sort of thing that William would have hated.
I think it's a real video, but was that like from FNAF, or was it like
the
a
novelty of
Markiplier
ordering
thing?
an animatronic wore off after like what, 1, maybe 2 times? But with new skins for new holidays, suddenly you had yourself an animatronic perfect for every occasion. It would keep people hooked. It would keep them ordering the latest and greatest that Fazbear Entertainment LLC had to offer.
I had a special delivery poster in my bathroom because why not? I wanted to scare people to see the characters that are interesting. I need. Oh my god, I forgot. Julie got me a FNAF poster.
No one trusted the Fazbear
Oh my
name.
god, I need to
The
text
company's
Julie to give it to
brand
me.
was still mud in the public eye. No one would want to hire animatronics from the restaurant franchise
can
known
I
for murdering
get my
children. Nothing
FNAF
kills a party
poster?
quite like the threat of death, you know. So she needed to find a way to discredit the stories that had come before. She needed to win back. the
Why
public's
is she
affection,
throwing herself back
reactivate
into
some
this? You've
nostalgia for
lost
the spooky
everything.
stories of their childhoods. She needed a game. Multiple games, in fact.
She made the game franchise!
They told us that the whole point of this VR game was to undo the bad PR done by a rogue indie game developer. But that's not true at all. Those indie games were designed to conceal and make light of what happened. This isn't just an attempt to rebrand. It's an elaborate cover-up.
Struggling game developers were a dime a dozen online. Most working
She did
on
put her
their
family
magnum
back together.
opus
How
became
would that
$50
work? They
general.
did.
She found one.
One of them's
Steve
a
just picked him out
murderer.
of
Who
obscurity.
the hell
He
is
was desperate.
Steve? Who the hell is Steve? That looks like Steve
Oh,
Carell.
yeah. So she found one. Steve just picked him up.
Does this guy not look like Steve Carell? Do you know? That's Scott. Scott looks like Steve Carell!
Out of obscurity, the right mix of desperate and doofus, willing to say and do anything for a couple extra bucks. And he fell
He
right
self-inserted
in line,
himself.
As expected, delivering
is William
stupid
Afton.
little things with dumb generic names like Mangle's Quest, Balloon Boy's Air Adventure, Five Nights at Freddy's. Bad gameplay
Lord.
with even worse graphics, but hey, they got the job done. People were suddenly talking about the clues inside of these things, searching for the hidden lore. They were actively making jokes about dead kids at pizzerias. Her husband's twisted history of serial murder. had
Are they
suddenly been
saying this
reduced
is
to a mere
us?
Nancy Drew
Are we?
mystery
Is
to
this
be
us right
solved.
now?
The
Because we got our
plan
sleeve
to
har har
Freddy
hars.
Fazbear's was suddenly more popular than ever. Things were going shockingly well. Her takeover and reboot of the franchise was full and complete. Suddenly infused with
Is there
cash,
proof
she
that
built
she was the one that
largest,
did
most
this?
ambitious project yet, the Mega Pizzaplex. William had always been so visionary, but always thought
She
so
made the
small
Mega
scale. He was
Pizzaplex?
careful to a fault. Not her though. She knew that this latest project needed to be big. It needed to be flashy. It needed to be a palace for children, a place that got people talking and checking out the latest in Fazbear.
Which, like, the
products.
Mega
So with
Pizzaplex
steady
was a
supply
slay,
of
to be
remnant
fair.
flowing in, it
No,
was
there's
finally
no
time.
proof
The
this was
stage
pulled out of
set.
nowhere.
It was time to get to her real goal, literally rebuilding a family.
Well, I mean, okay, the proof that I can think of is, you know how in Security Breach, when we were walking through like one of those back rooms, there was like a setup of their family made out of staff bots? Like, why would that be there? You know, why would there be things representing, and one of them had the head off that was crying child? Why was there stuff that like represented them, like, hidden, built in the back? Like, wouldn't the mom have done that? Because who else would have known about that, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's the only thing I can think of. I'm not saying it's right,
The
but like
first
that's the
was
only thing I can
obvious.
think of.
Crying child.
Like
the
the
little
voice
boy,
tapes,
the
is
one
that
was
the
first to
actual
get
voice or
ripped
somebody
away from
random?
him.
I have
She'd
no
seen
idea.
down in his bunker that William had gotten very close to replicating artificial humans using animatronic technology, and so that's exactly what she would do. Rebuild her boy from the ground up using robotic parts. His shaggy brown hair, his favorite striped shirt.
Oh my god, is this the theory that frickin' Gregory's an animatronic and he's the crying child?
Details that no one would notice, like the
Oh
band-aid
lord.
on his left knee. William's research had
What, and then she just
found
leaves him to be homeless? Like, what's the point of that?
making animatronics that could bleed and process food, making them virtually indistinguishable from a typical human. He would never have any idea of what he actually was unless he was explicitly told. The only things that could possibly ruin the illusion were any overrides to his internal systems. If something were to, say, interfere with the cameras that he had in his eyes, or cause some sort of a core reboot to his hard drive, or x-ray his metallic bones, then yeah, he would be exposed. But otherwise, to the outside world, he was just your typical, normal human boy. She worked down in the bowels of the Pizzaplex, giving him life, but it was one thing to build him, it was another to help him remember his identity.
Did she go to engineering school too?
Early in their history that there was no preserved memories for him, no documentation that she could just download into his digital brain. So bit by bit, she trained
Very
him, forcing him to remember who he was. In a corner of the room, she even made a makeshift dinner table.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the thing. Remember when I said the thing? And it was built up and it was them? This is what I'm talking about. She must have made this, correct? Crying child, no head. Mr. Afton, Mrs. Afton, Emily, what's her name? Is it Emily? No. Is it Emily? Is the girl's name Emily? I don't remember. And Michael.
A reminder of their happier days. The family recreated. Two brothers.
Elizabeth, thank
a
you.
Father and the mother at the head of the table. The one in charge. The one in command. The one.
Wait, what's the name of the puppet? Like the puppet's
But
person.
this progress
like
was
Henry
admittedly
Emily's
slower than she
daughter.
would have liked. At first, he could only communicate through simple ones and zeros. Then rudimentary
Oh,
drawings
is that
and
why that was there?
crude letters.
Wait, what does that mean?
First, he could only communicate through.
Wait, what does that mean? Hold on, I'm looking this up. Binary code translator. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, ready? Okay, hold on. 101001110 001001110 100101110 000101110. Okay. Da-da-da. If anyone wants it, there it is. Let's see. And convert. It's saying nothing, guys. I really don't know what to do here. Maybe I need the spaces. Okay, I probably need the spaces. There, and then 110 again. Okay, convert. It is giving me symbols, guys. It gave me this. What does that mean? I'm assuming it's some other kind of code and I gotta decipher it twice. Whatever, I give up. Okay, continuing.
Through simple ones and zeros. Then
Charlotte,
rudimentary
thank
drawings
you.
and crude letters. But bit by bit, images of his past life started to come through. Balloons, colors, houses, bears and faces, birthday parties. All for me. Gregory was alive. As the
Okay,
robot
this
boy
kind of...
embraced her, she felt a warmth
Okay,
that
this
she
makes
had
sense a little bit that he's a crying
This
child.
was the joy that she'd been working towards. This
That's
was what it was all
ampersand.
for.
It
Her
just
son
means
back in
and?
her arms
That's
again.
it?
The plan was working. She had to keep going.
No.
Next
I know
was
the
William.
middle
The family
thing.
was truly
That's not the it copy pasted weird into Twitch. It's
Put together,
something
she would
weird. I don't even
need
know.
Him. And she knew exactly where he was, in the ruins of that old Freddy Fazbear's pizza place where Henry had trapped
It was
him.
like some
In
weird
fact,
question
that's
mark
specifically
symbol,
why she insisted
something
on building
else,
the
a question mark
Pizzaplex
symbol,
there
and then
over the
something else
sinkhole.
again.
The best place to hide what her true intentions were with the entire operation. Digging through the wreckage, she found him. He was right where she found
Ugh!
him. The puke-
Bro, look at the jaw! Who wants this? Freaking tangly flesh. Who wants
Fridge shell of the
this?
Springtrap suit, though, was not something she was prepared for. The
Jeez,
rotting corpse of
musting,
William
bro.
Afton was disgusting. Scorched flesh fused into the fur lining. Hollow black sockets where eyes once were. A smell that reeked of burned carbon and bloody iron. He was no longer
Ugh.
flesh. He was just the tangled sinews of a creature that was once
Burn trap
whole
people are old
human.
now.
How far this brilliant
They like
man
what they
had
like.
fallen. It was clear that her work was cut out for her on this one. Afton was practically lifeless.
Listen,
Man may not
I
have been
don't
able to
judge
die,
people.
but he was
but that is a rotting corpse. That's all I need to say. And he murdered children!
As you could come, and his body.
I think I'm allowed to judge.
Replacement arms and endoskeleton reinforcements were the top priority. Maybe pulled from their new line of glam rock animatronics. She'd have to see if they had any spare Bonnie parts lying around that they could steal. In the meantime, though, she threw the husk that was once her husband into a life support pod infused with aerosolized.
She wants to bring him back to life even though he killed people?
Recovering his body was recovering his mind. In his current state, he was comatose, an empty shell. Severe brain damage starts at temperatures over 108 degrees Fahrenheit. 42 degrees Celsius, and years of repeated fires had burned his brain to goo. Gone was the brilliant, frustrating mind that had drawn her to him in the first place. But she had a plan. Unlike her darling boy Gregory, Afton had found ways to record his consciousness. Fundamentally, the brain is only a series of electrical connections after all, so why couldn't you replicate that in the form of a standard circuit board? In essence, you could create a
I'm on
digital
stream.
consciousness. And one thing she knew about William, he
Father
was
Berries
nothing
was staring
if
at
not
me.
cautious. A planner, someone who had backup plans to his backup plans. And sure enough, there it was, buried in piles of old animatronic CPUs, a record of Afton himself. But she needed someone
This
to
is the one
test
FNAF theory I don't buy. I feel like this is...
here during the night.
Okay, to be fair, it is the newest of it, so it is harder to back up. The rest of the stuff we have been able to, like, simmer. I'm on stream, Brother Berries. Okay, Brother Berries is here now, guys. There you go. Got a new OC, fancy.
I mean, they sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation, told us to scan it, said it would expedite the process so we wouldn't need to program any pathfinding ourselves.
Unlike the other...
Wait, hold on.
I mean, they sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation.
They sent us. Okay, we don't have
said it would expedite the process so we
confirmation
wouldn't need to program any pathfinding ourselves.
Unlike the other games that she'd paid to have made in the past, this one had a different purpose. This wasn't about PR, it was about getting William back up and running, spreading his virus to the masses.
You acknowledge that Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for accidental digital consciousness transference, real-world manifestations of digital characters.
She hired a new developer, Silver Parasol Games, to scan the boards.
If her voice isn't confirmed, I don't believe that it's the wife, because it could be some random lady. It could, but how would that connect to the lore? How would a random lady fit into all this intricate lore
one complication
surrounding the family?
Hold wasn't as powerful as she had hoped. He wasn't able to gain complete control. The first trial run, Jeremy, was so desperate to escape from his grasp that he sliced his own face off with a paper shredder.
Oh my god!
His followers were reluctant, to say the least, but it was the second attempt that looked like it had the potential to kill two birds with one stone. Enter Vanessa. Mrs. Afton wanted a surrogate daughter. Her darling Elizabeth would have been a young woman at this point if she had lived. And Clara wanted someone who wasn't Elizabeth, but could be just like her. Could she have just rebuilt her like Gregory? Sure, but she decided against it because she wanted an actual human mother-daughter connection. Well, that, and it would be redundant and narratively unsatisfying to have two robot kids in the same family. What could she say? William had put a lot of tools on the table for her to use, and she was planning on using them all. Plus, Elizabeth had always been so loyal to Daddy. It was time to give her a second chance, a true choice. And Vanessa seemed to be the perfect candidate to fill the role.
Girl, that's not her.
Your dad didn't play fair, did he? He used to make your mum look bad in court. He manipulated you. I know your mum after she lost the custody case. I was supposed to be a good girl.
She started as a QA tester at Silver Parasol Games,
Oh my
the VR game development
gosh.
company that was part of her plan
This
to bring
poor
back
girl.
More importantly, Vanessa checked all the correct boxes. Right age,
Green eyes.
green eyes with a
There we
fondness
go.
for flowers and the outdoors. In many ways, it was her daughter all
I thought the
over
daughter
again.
was
Except
ginger.
it wasn't just looks and personality. What really mattered was Vanessa's mind, underconfident, coming
Hi,
from a broken
Wombat.
home.
Hi, my
Mother
beloved
was able
Mooba.
to be manipulated.
Hello.
She would do nicely. She would be the one to save dear old Daddy, just as the real Elizabeth would have wanted.
I will make you proud, Daddy.
While testing the VR game, William's digital
Lord.
consciousness merged with Vanessa. Oh sure, she fought, fragmenting Afton's code into a series of tapes hidden across the game, trying to do web searches to regain control over her life, but it wasn't enough. She was weaker than Jeremy. She was a thrall that, despite occasional moments of lucidity, had to obey. And with Vanessa, it was a 2-for-1 deal. She was getting a daughter back, while also bringing her husband one step closer to reactivation.
Why would you
Just
want to
make sure that
reactivate
Vanessa was headed
him?
the right
I don't
way.
understand.
The reborn Gregory was an expert hacker.
Elizabeth's
Part of
hair
the
color changed
benefits of
all the
being
time
an
throughout the
Afton and a
series.
robot.
Starts
So
off
Clara
ginger,
had
then
him keeping
blonde,
tabs
some
on
points
Vanessa,
reddish
hacking into
brown.
her emails and trailing her
Weird.
therapy sessions to ensure the future Elizabeth was falling in line. If any of the therapists started to ask too many questions, they were promptly dismissed. from their positions.
Oh,
While
and
Gregory
that's why
kept
they
tabs
had
on
a different
Vanessa's
therapist in
personal
the
life,
middle.
Mrs. Afton made sure to clear a path for her professionally. With Silver Parasol's collapse at the hands of the anomaly,
Would do
she
anything
then
for
had
love?
the possessed Vanessa
I think it's
bring
just
the
the idea of a
contaminated
family
circuit
because
boards
they
to
divorced.
DRZ shipping and the Fazbear Funtime service. More glitches, more Remnant, more Afton. But it was her last move that was the best. In a true masterpiece of poetry, she brought Vanessa over to be chief security officer at the Pizzaplex.
Them
A
and
true family
security,
tradition
bro.
To don the hat and badge, and all it
Uh-huh.
took was a recommendation from the top as well as some emails marked for deletion. Sure, Vanessa didn't have relevant experience for the job, but when it comes directly from the CEO, does it really matter? Husband, son, daughter. A corpse, a robot, a human. All that was left was Michael.
Ugh.
Poor, troubled Michael. The boy that killed her youngest. The one that would spend years trying to make his guilty conscience right again. A self-professed protector. Well, she knew she needed
Why
him to
wouldn't she have
complete
moved
the
it onto
family.
somebody else by
something told her
now?
that the problem had
I don't know,
already
man.
solved
Grief.
itself. Something had shifted when using Glamrock
All of her
Freddy to
family had
excavate the buried
died.
pizza place.
I have been here before. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I have changed. My friends are here, but I can protect you. I am not me.
Maybe it was the remnant that had coursed through Michael's veins. Maybe it was the spirit of Michael living on as a protector. But he was there, somewhere inside of Glamrock Freddy. She could feel it. And just like that, she'd won. She'd done it. Sure, there were still some kinks to work out, some final
like a
brainwashing of
corpse?
Vanessa, some rehabilitation of William, but they were there. Finally, all together again.
What a
under
great
one roof.
family,
Athens
guys.
reunited.
Family
Happy
photo.
and
Christmas cards are gonna be
That's
crazy this
how
year.
It could have ended. That's how it should have ended, had it not been for a few unanticipated developments. For one, something was just wrong with the Pizzaplex. Almost as if
Also,
the
what's up
whole
with the
building
security
was
bots
haunted.
being the trapped
Yes,
souls of
public
children?
plushies hiding on ceilings, behind crates, places that they had no earthly way of belonging. Staff bots with greasy tears down their eyes, acting like they were being puppeteered by some sort of a nightmare. Even their sounds had the echo of nightmares long past. It was as though a guardian spirit of the past refused to move on. As long as her husband was around, it too would linger. Only now, it wasn't just in one body, but it was in the essence of the building itself. She had seen stories of houses built on burial grounds getting possessed by angry spirits, but she'd never
The
assumed
pizza
that it
plex.
could be real.
Okay,
But
well
again,
then
the
why
world
did
of
she
living
build it
spirit
on
metal
top of the old
mind-controlling
pizza
glitches,
plex?
who
Why don't
should
these
be
people
so
just move?
judgmental?
They have
The whole
everything
thing was
stacked on
ridiculous.
top of
Why
each
would
other.
this
Move
be
to a
the
different
line that people
location.
refuse to cross?
Leave
After all, the
Utah,
Pizzaplex
man.
was built over the burial ground of angry spirits, but it was
Go back
the
to Britain.
power cords that finally convinced her that something was wrong. Suddenly, these cords were striped black and white, like the security puppet from
Welcome back,
generations
Wombat.
ago. The very foundations of this place, the materials and wires that constituted it, were rebelling against her, against the Aftons, against the quest to bring them all together again. And it was being helped by something else, something slithering through the building. Maybe they were connected, she couldn't be sure,
A
but
blob?
a blob of living wires could
There
be
we
heard oozing through the walls, stealing pieces and parts of the old animatronics showcased in Rockstar Row. She could only assume
Yuck.
that it was a byproduct of all the remnant they'd been collecting. From Afton's testing, she knew that both light and dark remnant existed, one of positive emotions and the other created from anguish, anger, agony.
Is
Perhaps
there one
this-
made from
this
positive?
thing was an amalgamation of all the darkest parts of the pizzeria's history. A
Who's
collection
made out of
the
positive
hatred
stuff?
Still housed
I guess
inside
maybe the
these defunct
puppet? I don't know.
endoskeletons and exosuits. As long as it was left alone, it seemed to be harmless. But if any Afton outside of Michael got too close, it would lash out wildly.
Yeah, he's from
The Christ
William
Aid
Afton's from
State,
Utah.
Thusly run by Mormons. The place I originate from, Hurricane, Utah. The place I live near.
William Afton is from Utah. Utah, Wombat, Utah. I mean, the blob ending wasn't the official ending. The one with Freddy being torn apart was the official ending. No. The blob one was the official ending. The canon ending was the blob one. The Vanny... Wait. Yeah, no, the Vanny ending was a different one. The Vanny ending was the Vanny ending. The canon one was... Right? The canon one was the blob, because then you burn William Afton. And that... Right? Or am I crazy? Right?
Even young Gregory, looking to punish the family that had been complicit in its horrible creation.
Okay, hold on. We're about to
Little
find
did she
out which
know
one the
that
canon one is
Gregory
anyways.
should have been her biggest concern. That bringing the family together would have some unforeseen consequences. Gregory was normally the goodest of boys. She had literally built him that way. But lately...
Why didn't she name him
disappearing
Evan?
More and more often, disobeying her orders. requests. She knew that he loved playing on the arcade machines once the Pizzaplex closed, being so good as to top the leaderboard on practically all of them.
clarifies
But
newer
lately,
theories
he
I
was nowhere
mentioned
to be found.
earlier.
She suspected his absence
The
had to do
Rudicy
with
continues
Glamrock
for Freddy
Freddy's
being
failed
torn
performance
apart.
the other night when
So
he malfunctioned
torn
live on stage, almost as
okay. So the DLC is canon, and that means that the Vanny ending was canon. So did I ever burn? Did I never burn William Afton? How was he just the Mimic then? If he was still rotting, you know? How did he become the Mimic? I don't get
Freddy
it.
responded to seeing this rebuilt small boy, almost like it awakened something inside of him. She'd have to make sure that Vanessa was on the lookout for him, but she'd soon come to learn that Vanessa wasn't enough. Whether it was the influence of the nightmare puppet
New
or a reawakened
I'm gonna have to
hatred
watch
of
these new
animatronics seated
theories,
deep in
like,
Gregory's
tomorrow
code,
then.
something had caused him to rebel, to rip apart each animatronic.
The Mimic was a
in the
whole
Pizzaplex.
separate entity.
Bit by bit,
I thought it
this
was
boy
Afton
tearing
again
down the
because he
empire that
won't
she'd
go
so
away.
painstakingly built, freeing Vanessa from her mind control, destroying the remains of Afton in the basement, setting Glamrock Freddy loose. As her carefully created world crumbled around her one more time, she began to plot her revenge. She would have to bring them all to ruin. And there you have it, my friends. Nearly a decade in the making.
Hello,
my
Neo.
FNAF timeline for where the franchise is here in 2023.
Oh, Lord.
Fazbear Frights, by the way. As always, it wouldn't be right for me to finish without going over
Okay.
some of the more controversial takes that I just handed out. I think we
Okay,
can all
yeah,
agree
well,
that
he's
this
going
part of
over
the
it, okay.
timeline was always going to be the hardest. So let me just break down some of the major points. First of all, the biggest swing of this episode, and obviously the one that everything else rests upon, Mrs. Afton being the CEO
Yeah,
of Fazbear
like, where did this come
Entertainment LLC.
from?
Here's why I went with this route. Now, first and foremost, the head of Fazbear Entertainment is the single biggest mystery that we're meant to solve at this point in the lore. The ultimate guide brings it up
Okay.
repeatedly. Who's running the show? Who's okaying these decisions? And in the security
I
breach
don't
memos,
know,
we get
man. I
multiple
guess it would
mentions
make
of someone
sense for it to be the
manipulating things
mom,
from the
because
top
it has
down.
to be
Whoever
someone
this is, they
integral
are
to the
person driving
story
forward every other facet
who
of
has
the
the
late-stage
rights to the
FNAF lore
stuff.
here. They're the puppet master who's hiring the indie dev.
So it's like, it has to be. Unless there's some secret family member we don't know about, like the frickin' second cousin twice removed uncle, you know? Like, I don't...
They're the ones
That's all we
relaunching
got.
the brand, building the Pizzaplex over the burial ground. So everything at the end of the timeline relies on this one singular answer. Now, as I see it, there are two possibilities here. One, an adult robot Elizabeth, like we see older versions of robot kids in the fourth closet, or Mrs. Afton. Could it be someone completely new to the franchise? Absolutely yes, but in a game with so many returning faces and repeated themes,
Yeah, that would make sense if there was another family member,
so,
unless
between
that's
these
what
two
they're
girl
planning.
bosses, who then would it
It's
be?
either
Well,
there's
Elizabeth
going to
or-
be a big twist, or I guess it's one of these two. But, like, also, I swear Scrap Baby stuff was in the thing, but this is like a robot of her, so it's not even... Man, I don't know. I'm ending. I'm tired. This is... Why did I think this was a good idea when I was tired? Why did I think this was a good idea to go and do? Oh my gosh, I am exhausted. Okay, guys, we're finding someone to raid. Sorry this was a chiller stream. I just wanted to watch some FNAF lore because I clearly did not know so much of it. Let's see. Who are we gonna raid? We just binge watch every theory. I'm gonna go watch more Fiona and Cake first. Because I love Fiona and Cake. Her face like yours. With those doors. So let us get in. Don't lock us away. We're not like what you're thinking. Okay, next stream. Oh crap, I copied the wrong thing. Next stream will be Sunday, 3 p.m. EST. Yes. Okay, I said that right. We're good. Why are we jump scaring me? All right, guys. Go enjoy your time. Hang out with Boomer. You can say moo raid a little bit. Have fun. Go hang out.